Hello, and welcome everyone to the first digital diversity of 2020. I am super excited to be starting things up again this year. We just had our first digital diversity blog, um, and with the absolutely amazing Game Monster Kiss Club. Hey Draz, how you doing? And we've got some fantastic games for today. Um, we have, as you can see in front of me, we have Well Met by Moonlight, and we have Reburn. Both of these are from Jane Titor. And then after that, we have As We Know It. We're going hard on the visual novel train today, and I'm excited. Hope you're all excited. Hope you're all doing well. I've got a kitty here. I've got a Zume who's curled up on my lap and who wants to be part of story time today. So, haven't you, boo? Haven't you? Yeah. Got a kitty. So yeah, how y'all doing? How's things, Draz? How goes life? I got myself a tea which I can't reach because of cat. Okay, how are we gonna do this? How are we gonna do this? Over here. There we go. Music should be okay. I think we're all good for this. Alright, I have no idea which side I'm gonna need to be on today. Let's assume that I need to be on the left. For the time being. There we go. Decided to play the... Oh, there are lots of options out there. Well, I can't wait to see what's going on. I think we're going to be going real heavy on visual novels this year. I put out a call for more games, and I think I got another 8 to 10 games added to my submitted list, and a good chunk of them are visual novels, of course. So we're gonna have some fun this year. So, get another couple of minutes. I will have a little bit of tea. Kaiju can have a little bit of tea, and we're going full on gay today. We're gonna have some gaiety chocolate biscuits because I can't think of anything more appropriate right now. Yes, it wouldn't be a year of streaming for me if I didn't have one of your games on my list. It is also still technically I am non-binary day, so if you go and check out on Twitter hashtag I am non-binary, you can check out some absolutely incredible people, a lot of whom are great artists or musicians, and game devs and all sorts of things, and highly recommend it. And while you're out there, block some trolls, like report some trolls, because of course they're hitting the shit up because they always do. Non-binary folks have taken a little bit of a beating in the press lately, unfortunately, but that's just, the way of things. So I think we're about ready to start. Fruity like your front post? Yeah. Like, today was surprisingly, apt. I woke up and that was trending because, we're like a day ahead, unfortunately. So if we do anything, we're way too far ahead of the curve to really get anything done. So we wait until things start in America and then we're into it. But it was really nice to see that. And I got to put up the first digital diversity blog for the year, which happened to have a non-binary game dev. No, you haven't missed anything, Bob. We're just starting out. We're just chatting about the start of things and how awesome it is that I am non-binary day, and if you haven't already, go and check out the new blog for... Aw, thanks, Bob. I miss talking to you on stream. If you haven't already checked out the new blog, go to mbkaiju.com, up the top there. Game Monster Kiss Club is up there. It is explicit. We talk about some stuff. Lots of stuff. All good stuff. but we talk about some stuff. Hey, Onyx! Joining me today, we have the beautiful Azume. Don't we? We have the beautiful Azume who decided that she wants to join me today. She wants to be curled up on my lap. So I am really glad that I'm playing a visual novel because I can play this one-handed while I'm snuggling the kitty. No, she's decided that she has been on stream too much now and she will come back later. So yeah, I think we get things rolling. Let's get things rolling. So, let me quickly check for content warnings. Please bear with me for a moment. I normally have the list on, but the last few weeks have been like all over the place, and I can't remember what the hell's going on in my life anymore. Where are we? Yeah, my list is up to 84 now, and a good chunk of them are also visual novel, TTRPGs, and I'm trying to work out how I'm gonna do that. I think I might need to find someone who knows a lot about TTRPGs, to give me some pointers on like how to analyze these, because I can do them by content, and I can sensitivity read and stuff like that, but I don't play enough of them to really. Okay, content warnings. There's some anxiety issues, so there's some mental health issues, but nothing huge in this one. I do know the next one has some stuff in it, but we'll get to that. Get to it. You know some stuff about TTRPGs? Yeah. I might get you to help me go through my list. Alright, without any further ado, I am going to have a gaiety before we start, because why the hell not? I've had my breakfast, I've had some hash browns, and now I'm going to have a gaiety, because yeah, I've got a ton. I got some very interesting visual novels. Some interesting TTRPG ones, sorry. For anyone who hasn't had a gaiety, it's just like chocolate. It's just like chocolate wafer covered in chocolate. It goes well with tea. Oh. Okay. Oh, chewing. Oh. Other ongoing stuff before we start. I lied. There is further ado. The podcast is starting this year. Finally getting the Digital Diversity podcast. We've got Maddie, who is one of the lead creators of When Aster Falls, coming on to help me. They've done the art for it already. Like, they did an amazing job with the art. We're going to start doing our pilot episode like next week probably, and the plan is to have one of those out every month. So there will be the streams, there will be the blog, and there will be the podcast. And then I'm going to have to start asking for help, because running all this is going to start costing me. So, no more ado, okay? Azume's watching me. She's telling me I need to get on with this. Let's start Well Met by Moonlight. I've always had some trouble sleeping, but I swear this damn town makes it worse. I'll make myself to the side where I am. I've always had, I spent my whole life in the city, flashing business signs, yelling drunks, headlights, and the engines, those were all part of the backdrop of the night. I didn't notice them unless I thought about it. They weren't what kept me awake. But out here, past 9 p.m., everything is pitch black and eerily silent. Even with the window open, all I can hear is cicadas, and all I can see is the stars. It's awful. I've gotten into the habit of taking long walks late at night, because it's better than staring at the ceiling. When I can't sleep, which is most of the time, I get up and creep out of the back door, trying not to wake my landlord, and head down the main street. Even calling it the main street feels wrong, because it's just this tiny stretch of family-owned businesses. I pass a couple of cafes and bakeries, some little clothing boutiques mostly aimed at older women, and way more antique shops than you'd think any town would need. They draw in some businesses from surrounding cities during the day, I guess. God, town's just full of antique shops. Like, these things exist and they're weird. Like, you wouldn't expect them to, but like, I'm pretty sure some of you have gone to those, like, towns between major towns or between major cities that are like nothing but antique shops and little cafes. Uh, then there's an old ornate church, the smallest library I've ever seen, a museum that allegedly has tons of information about the history of the area. I haven't been able to confirm this myself because it seems to only open occasionally depending on the whims of the owner. And that's about it for the commercial area of this ghost town. After that, if I wanted to return to civilization, I could follow the gravel road past a bunch of farms and maybe I'd run into another person in an hour or two. But so far, I haven't been that desperate. So every night I take a left turn past the museum and go walking through the forest instead. This is really cute. The first few times I walked this way, I stuck to the edges of the forest, but now I'm pretty good at navigating through it by moonlight. It's not nearly as dark as I thought it would be. I guess there is one thing to be said for small towns. It's nice to be able to walk around at night like this. Back home, I'd be too worried about getting mugged or something to stay out this late by myself. And I certainly wouldn't have the opportunity to hike through a forest without going on a day trip somewhere. But out here, I feel a little more free, even if it comes to the cost of my beauty sleep. I can do whatever I want because no one else is out there to bother me. At least, there never has been before. Dun dun dun. Aww. They're adorable. For weeks, I've walked the route every night and never seen anyone else. But now, coming around a bend in the trail, I see a young man ahead of me. It's so out of the ordinary that I wonder if I really did manage to fall asleep at a decent hour tonight, and if I'm just dreaming about walking in the forest. The man is sitting on a tree stump, his legs stretched out in front of him, looking up at the moon, and from the way it illuminates his pale face with silver beams of light dancing through the tree branches, the moon almost seems to be looking back at him. This is so beautifully written, I'm loving it. My first instinct is to turn around and leave him to his musing, but as I step backwards, a twig snaps, as is always the case, and the man turns his head in my direction almost immediately. He must have an extraordinary sense of hearing. He looks surprised at first, but his features soon soften into a smile. Hey, what are you doing hiding in the shadows there? Oh, our character's adorable! I step forward into the moonlight so he can see me more clearly. Sorry, I'm not hiding. I just didn't want to bother you. You're not bothering me. Now, it would bother me if an intriguing stranger like you left without even introducing himself. Come here. I love that little... I approach tentatively and perch on the edge of his tree stump, not wanting to encroach on his personal space. Like the Red Pea novice in me wants to know how they did that, like across and then down slightly. Like there's gotta be the scripting in that must have been fun. What's your name? David. Interesting. You can call me Ron. Tell me, David, what are you doing wandering the forest alone at night? I thought I was the only one around here who did that. And I thought I was. Clearly, we are both gravely mistaken. I guess so. And I have a lot of trouble sleeping, so it helps to pass the time. Trouble sleeping? Why is that? He leans towards me. There's something comforting about gazing into his deep green eyes. Well, I've never lived in a small town before. It's much darker and quieter than I'm used to. trying to sleep here is totally different, you know? Oh god, I know that. Like, you go from a city to living in a rural area where there's no sound but nature sound. It's really difficult to sleep sometimes. I don't know, to be honest. I've never lived in the city, but I can imagine. What brings you to this humble village then? The antique shops. We're here for the antique shops. Long story short, I got a job here. Why make the long story short? Tell me, how'd you end up with the job? Well, okay, so ever since I was a kid, I've always dreamed of working for a newspaper. I pause, waiting for the reaction I'm used to, but Ron just keeps looking at me expectantly. Go on. Really? Most people kind of laugh at that. Zoom in. Window time? Window time? She knows I'm streaming. Ron seems almost hurt. They laugh at you when you tell them about your dream? Well, they don't always laugh out loud, but they're kind of dismissive about it. Why? Most people think it's kind of a naive idea. Print media isn't what it used to be. They tell me it would be more realistic to become a TV reporter, or write for a news website or something. Yeah, because that always works so well these days. But that just isn't the same, you know? There's something about actual physical newspapers that I've always wanted to be part of. I want to write something important that will educate people about current events, and then I want to watch it come out of a big printer. I want to know someone is going to deliver it to people's doorsteps and they'll pick it up and read it while they're eating their breakfast. That's what I've always wanted. It's silly, a little silly, I know. Aww, David's adorable. I love them. Warren places one of his hands on top of mine. Dreams are never silly. I mean, that's not technically true. I've had some very silly dreams in my time. Thanks. I intertwine my fingers with his, feeling self-conscious about my clumsy, calloused hands. His are thin and delicate. Anyway, I graduated with my journalism degree last spring. Yeah, there's something really special about physical written media. And I have I share the feeling. Like, when I first started, when I wanted to be a writer, like when I started and my dream was to be a writer, I didn't want my work to be electronic only. Like, I knew that I could get stuff published if I went electronic only, because there's always places to look for stuff. But there is something special about print. And I don't know if it's the bibliophile part of me that believes that, but I think there's something special about tactile. Also, data degrades, whereas we can still have the same book 100 years later. That's why most of my stuff's in print, although most of the places that are printed have since gone out of business. Like, I prefer to, like, yeah. There is something special. Like, convenience is one thing, but there's something special about printed text. Anyway, I graduated my journalism degree last spring, and I had a hell of a time finding actual newspapers that were hiring at all, let alone hiring someone as young and inexperienced as me. And then I saw an ad for a position at the St. Francis Gazette, and here I am. Ron breaks into a wide smile. So you're achieving your dream? Well, I don't know if I'd say that yet. It's a really small newspaper. I've only been here for a few weeks. But I hope I can do some good work here and make some connection. Then maybe I'll be able to get a job at a bigger city paper one day where I can write some more meaningful stuff. Signing your D&D stuff published in hardcover books now, I never flipped through. Yeah, it's nice to have them in a physical space. Like, I really worry about the future, like the future of our... Sorry, one of the kittens has climbed up onto my desk and seen a bird. So they're making the little sounds. Let's see if I can catch this. Asterix. No? No? Hey, kitties. Kitty. Hey, Asterix. Say hi to the camera. You're on candid camera. Gonna do it again? Okay, we're good. Yeah, the ideal's having both. Backup digital media, but having something physical that you can hold is great. And having something physical that we can go back to is important. It's why libraries will always be important to me, because they are repositories of something that can't just disappear. Like, you can't run a magnet over a library and lose it. I don't know. I hope so too. Thanks. You've been a lot more supportive than most people I've told about this. Sounds like you've been talking to the wrong people. Fuck. Feels. Maybe I have. A light breeze rustles through the branches above us. Ron squeezes my hand, and I shift closer to him on the tree stump so our legs are almost touching. So you've heard my life story. What about yours? Yes, Ron, tell us about your life story. Are you a wizard, Ron? Oh, not much to tell. I've lived around here my whole life. You've never left? I'm never very far away. The wind picks up, blowing Ron's hair away from his face. His eyes shine in the moonlight. And what do you do here? He smiles mischievously. Oh, I just wander the forest, looking for cute guys. Ah, he's cruising. Valid. He leans in and kisses me so suddenly that I don't immediately realize what's happening. That was quick. We have gone from 3 to gay very quickly. Let's just appreciate that for a second. I love the freckles. The freckles are so freaking cute. I'm into this. I'm liking this. I relax for one blissful second, his soft lips against mine, and the cool forest breeze on my skin. And that's the last thing I remember. My eyes snap open in the bedroom of my apartment, the sunlight streaming in through the window. It must have been a dream. At least I got a good night's sleep for once. A few days later, I sit at my desk in the small, dusty office of the St. Francis Gazette. A half-written article is on the computer screen in front of me, but I'm more concerned with gazing out the window and fiddling with a pencil. Apparently noticing my disinterest in actually working, my colleague Marty leans over precariously in his chair to make eye contact. How's it going there, Dave? Marty is technically the assistant editor of the paper, but he's a lot more active in its production than the aging editor-in-chief. He's basically my supervisor. Duck tie. Duck tie! He's covered in ducks. I'm approving of this tie. Normally I don't like ties, but that's a good tie. Fine. You sure? You look a little distracted there. Just trying to figure out exactly how to word this next part, you know? I want to make sure people who read it can really imagine the taste of the apple butter at the festival when I describe it. Alright, take your time then, Dave. Just wanted to make sure you're not slacking off. Wow. He shoots me a thumbs up before returning to his work. I don't like. Of course, I'm not thinking about describing the apple butter at all. I'm thinking about the guy that I met, or maybe just dreamed I met the other night. When I first woke up, I told myself it couldn't have been real. After all, what are the odds of me just happening to run into anyone in the middle of nowhere late at night, let alone a gorgeous stranger who reassures me about my problems? That, and kissing him is the last thing I remember before I was suddenly waking up back at home. I have been pretty sleep deprived lately, But I don't think my mental faculties are so compromised that I would just totally forget saying goodbye to him and walking home and anything else that might have happened. Come back for more cuddles? Yeah, 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 I love you too. Yeah. How about like that? How about like that? But there's something about the memory that I just can't let go of. I remember tiny details of how he looked in the moonlight, the breeze gently ruffling his hair. I can vividly recall the soft brush of his lips against mine before everything faded away. You're enjoying this, aren't you, Azume? Azume loves her boy love visual novels. It doesn't feel like a vague and distorted memory of a dream. It seems like something that really happened. I haven't gone walking through the forest again since that night because I want to hold on to the hope that it might have been real, and I'm scared that if I go back there and don't see him, it'll be confirmation that a sweet, handsome guy who's interested in me could never actually exist. I sigh and turn back to my computer screen. I can't spend all day musing about hot guys of questionable existence. I have a job to do, even if it's not a particularly interesting one right now. As I force myself to string a few adjectives together about Mrs. Boudevir's prize-winning apple butter, Marty stands up and stretches dramatically. That's better. Time for a break. I'm gonna go grab a coffee from Sunrise. Anyone else want something? He circles the office, jotting down a couple of orders from his other co-workers before returning to my desk. Anyone? How about you, Dave? My treat. You don't have to get me anything, Marty. Come on, it's no problem. Have you ever tried the donuts yet? You can't say you've lived in St. Francis if you had a Sunrise donut. Alright, I guess a donut would be nice. Maybe a Boston cream if they have it? You got it. One Boston cream, coming right up. Now I want a donut. You got that? Okay, come on, there you go. Lie down properly. What? Oh, and we've got company. We have a bot, and we have a Millie. Millie. Say hello to everyone, Millie. Yeah. What? Careful. He calls out his list of orders again, double checking with the others before leaning a bit closer toward me. You're a good kid, Dave. I know this town is a very exciting place to live, but... Oh, it's a nice town, really. It's cool. I know it probably isn't your first choice for a cool place to live when you got out of college. But I just wanted to say I hope you're settling in okay. Let me know if you ever need help with anything, okay? Okay, Dave. Thanks, Marty. I wanted to call him Dave. He seems like a Dave. Like, I don't know why, but he seems like a David. No, not a David, just a Dave. No problem. Be right back, everyone. Don't get too much mischief while I'm out. Oh, he's that kind of boss. Bye. I slump down in my chair and stare at the 2 sentences I've written in the past 20 minutes. It's gonna be a long afternoon. I hope those donuts are good as Marty seems to think they are. That night, I finally find myself turning left at the museum on my walk again. As I forge through the thickening foliage... Ooh, that's a good sentence to say. I'm going to say that one again. As I forge through the thickening foliage. That's good wordage. I like that. It's the FTHTHF. I think that works quite well. I steel myself for the possibility of finding no one there awaiting me. Ron might not even be real, or if he is, he might not even be there tonight. There's no reason to get my hopes up just because of one strange and wonderful experience that might have been a dream. The moon is waning tonight and my path is less illuminated than it was before. I almost take a wrong turn more than once, and I finally find my way to the small clearing with the aged tree stump in the middle. Hey, Ruth, how you doing? Oh, that's a good flag. Where'd you get that one? Is it Pride Trans flag? What? Where's that one from? That's an amazing emote. No, I don't have that one. Where the hell's that one from? You get the heart ones, but you don't get... Can I do it? No, I don't get those the pride flags. Hell yeah though. 100%. Looks foreboding in the looks foreboding in the limited moonlight, surrounded by dark, twisting branches, and of course, there's no one there. I knew there wouldn't be. David, you're back! Ah! I leap into the clearing and almost fall over before stumbling into a seated position on the tree stump. You were hiding in the trees last time, so I thought I'd try it for fun. Run, you bastard. I struggle to catch my breath. Yeah, fun. You enjoy almost giving people heart attacks? Heart attacks? Yeah, you know, like when your heart beats too fast and you might die? Ron looks confused. I'm terribly sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. No, I'm not actually having a heart attack. It's just an expression. Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead. Can I get those? Can I get those? Oh, was this part of like you had to cheer? Wait. Show your support. Turn. I don't know. Oh, okay. You had to cheer enough. Okay. 2 of 20 pride emotes for yourself and unlock a gift of an emote that other viewers of the channel will receive. The larger mega cheer. Blah 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 blah. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, that was Twitch trying to be that was Twitch being very vague about their inclusivity again. Twitch's Pride Month thing is always very questionable. Because like if someone gets enough viewers through Pride Month to technically make partner, they won't get given it because you only got enough viewers because it was Pride Month, and it's just like it's so bad. I'm not actually having a time. Oh, there we go. Oh. The moonlight seems brighter than it was a minute ago. It illuminates Ron's pale face, and I see him smile as he perches on the tree stump next to me. I don't know very many expressions. People don't say that around here? Not that I've noticed. It must be a kind of isolated life growing up in this town. You could say so. He cocks his head and gives me a quizzical look. Why didn't you come back until now? I was waiting. I'm sorry if I made you uncomfortable before. No, it was nothing like that. It was fine. It was good. Oh, good. His smile somehow gets even wider than it was before. You didn't want to see me again sooner? No, I did, but... It's gonna sound stupid, but I kind of didn't think you were real. You know, I've really been having a lot of trouble sleeping. I guess it's kind of affecting my memory. I didn't even remember walking back home and going to bed that night. Isn't that crazy? So I was worried you were just a dream. Oh, is that all? Yeah, sorry I didn't come back sooner. I didn't know you were waiting. That's okay. I was hoping to see you sooner, but I spend a lot of my time in this forest anyway. It's really nice here. Aww. I want to go to that forest. It seems lovely. It is. We sit in silence for a moment and I look around at the trees as well as I can look at them in the dark. Anyway, there's pretty even spread of different kinds. I recognize pines and maples and notice several more I can't name. There's a cat. She's being very affectionate today. I can imagine him finding it relaxing to hang out here. So, he inches towards me. If you weren't uncomfortable last time, does that mean it's okay if I... We got it again. An uncharacteristic burst of confidence seizes me, and I close the short distance between us with a kiss. The scent of the surrounding pine trees seems to get stronger as I run my fingers through his hair. After a moment, I pull away gently and Ron smiles at me. I think I can detect a slight flush in his cheeks, but I'm not sure. Then, without warning, he springs off the tree stump. Want to see one of my other favorite parts of the forest? We're going to his den. He sets off at such a fast and jubilous pace, he's almost skipping before I have a chance to respond. I don't mind, because of course I can see whatever he has to show me. I grin and start jogging to catch up. Ron leads me up a hill so steep that I'm gasping for breath by the time we reach the top, and I like to think I'm in pretty decent shape from all the walking I do. Maybe not though, since Ron seems as energetic as always as he strikes a triumphant pose. This is it. The top of a hill? I look around, wondering if this place has an especially nice view or something, but the trees are packed together pretty densely here, so I can't even see the stars very well. No, look down. He kneels down below a tree and begins to brush some dirt out of the way. I follow his lead and soon my hand meets solid rock. What is this? Concrete! And over here! He feels around a bit more, then gestures for me to join him, and I place my hand next to his. Metal? Have we found a bunker? Have we found a gay bunker? Because if we have, I'm pretty interested in what's going on here. It's hard to see in the dark, but it's actually train tracks. A long time ago, a train was supposed to come through here. It was part of a plan to make it easy to get around this part of the country. They even built tunnels through the mountains up north a bit, but they ended up running out of money and abandoning the whole thing. You don't put train tracks at the top of a hill. Trains going up is a problem. You have to go flat with trains. The forest grew back and covered it up. Forests always do. That's what I like about this place. It's like a secret. Yeah, it's pretty cool. How'd you find it? I spent a lot of my time exploring. The place where the train was supposed to stop is just a little farther. He brushes the dirt off his hands, then holds out to me. I let him help me back to my feet and follow him deeper into the forest. Into the forest. It's getting a little cold out. I rub my arms to keep warm as we walk, wishing I'd worn a jacket. Here we are. We push through the trees into another small clearing, where a wooden bench appears to have become part of the natural landscape. Sounds like a really gorgeous forest. I'd love to go there. Vines are growing up its legs, and one corner of it seems fused with a warped tree trunk. I look more closely and see the remains of a small shelter above it, obscured by the branches. I can't believe I had no idea this was here. I place my hand on the back of the bench. Careful, watch out for the train. What do you mean? A gust of wind blows through the trees, rattling the branches against the roof of the shelter. I mean what I said. And a rumbling in the distance is the last thing I remember hearing before I find myself in bed again. God damn it, it was all a dream. Again. I'm really going crazy. It's another day at work and another day that I'm slumped over my desk not doing anything useful. I've been constantly distracted for the past few days trying to figure out what's going on with my head. Both times I've met Ron, or believe I met Ron, I swear I remember leaving my apartment after dinner to go out walking, passing the shops on the main street and turning left after the museum to go into the forest. It's all perfectly clear. But somehow, both times I don't remember going home. I'm in the forest with Ron, then things suddenly get kind of blurry, and then I'm waking up in bed like it was a dream. How can I have a dream when, as far as I know, I didn't fall asleep? And how could a dream have so many details, like the feel of the uneven forest ground beneath my shoes and the sharp scent of pine trees when I kissed him? Am I losing my mind? So Ron is a tree. I think we're working out here. Ron is a tree ant, or possibly some kind of fae. Should I go see a doctor? I don't know how I would even do that. Ant lover. Yep. We are here to love ants. God. If you wouldn't love an ant, what are you even doing here? don't know what I'd even do that. If I had a family doctor back home, but I haven't been there in years, and now I'm here. And love is love too. Yeah. Can I get a new doctor? Do people do that? Is there even a doctor in this town? Hey there, Dave. You falling asleep on the job? Particularly cute vent. Yeah. Marty slaps me on the back, jostling me out of my frantic musings. Sorry, I haven't been sleeping well lately. I hear that. Can't get a wink of sleep with my wife snoring. Ah. How about we take a break for some coffee and then come back refreshed and ready to work? Really? You don't mind? Of course not. Everyone needs a break. Come on. I was about to head out at sunrise anyway. Well, it's not like I've accomplished anything in the office, and that donut Marty brought me last time was pretty good. Sure, let's go. Marty leads me to a cafe a few doors down where a friendly older woman serves us coffee and donuts. A few other small groups of people are seated at the tables, all chatting happily over their drinks. We sit down at the table by the window, and Marty bites into his donut with enthusiasm. Gotta say, Sunrise has the best donuts in town. What's the bet it's the only donuts in town? Only. Don't tell me the Bob over at Smith & Son's Bakery is a little competitive. Okay, so there's more than one donut place. Smith & Son's Bakery? Where's that? Oh, it's just a couple of streets away on Clarence. Around the corner from where Tim and Erin live, although I guess you might not know them yet. Yeah, the subtle sit and stand animations are really good, and I'd love to know how they're done. Like, I think I need to bug Jane and ask how they did these. Because the little sit and stand animations are spot on, and I'm a big fan of them. Show Marty linear 1.0 Y offset 5.0. Yeah, there's probably something in there. And that is the awesome thing. So you play enough of these visual novels, which are predominantly written in Ren'Py. Some of them are written in Unity. There's a couple of other engines that are made in, but every dev who works with Ren'Py as a standard, like as their standard engine, has their own little tricks and their little things that make theirs special. And you play these, and you play enough of them, and I've played dozens over the last couple of years just for digital diversity alone. And God, some of the tiny things which you wouldn't think is consequential, they make it special. Like, they stand out to you. Let's see, do you know Rachel, the woman who delivers the papers? She lives pretty near there too. I don't think so. I don't really know anyone here yet except for you, my landlord, and the others in the office. And one weird guy who hangs around the forest who may or may not be a hallucination. You're kidding me. Sounds like I've been remiss in my duties as mentor, Dave. I've got to start introducing you to more people. Rachel comes by the office every week to pick up the papers, so I'll point her out then. I could probably introduce you to almost everyone in town, really. Lived here all my life. It's not a very big place. Wonder who else is around your age. Often they leave for college and don't come back, but I'm sure there are a few younger people. I sit in my coffee as Marty mumbles to himself, apparently trying to remember various people's names and whether they moved away or not. Do you know someone named Ron? Yeah. Ask about Ron. Hey, you can zoom me. There was the Miller's boy. Now, he left that job in Aldershot. I can't really all that concerned with trying to make new friends. I probably wouldn't be a very good person to hang out with right now anyway. What with probably going crazy and all that. You have a possibly imaginary friend. Cool. I should introduce you to Erin. Yeah, it's just like, you say that you've got this person that may or may not be imaginary, and then you start going on listing everyone in town. So it doesn't bother me when Marty apparently gives up and changes the subject. Alright, I've been meaning to tell you, we're doing a special edition of the paper for the town's anniversary next month. I was thinking you could write an article for it. Maybe drop by the museum sometime, look around, pick out something from our history you think would be interesting. Really? I can pick anything? Well, as long as it's something you can write a decent length article about. We all want to have a bit of fun with it. Okay, hear me out. There's this fey boy in the woods who may or may not be a hallucination, but may or may not be an ent. And who may or may not be a ghost. Can I write this story? Can I write about how good a kisser they are? Because, gosh, you think I was good with that thing about the apple butter? Like, you would not believe how good I am about talking about Ghost Tree Boy Ron's kisses. And I know this place might seem boring now, but some crazy stuff happened here. Like that whole story with the railroad. Ron served in the Crimean War in the 5th Ent Brigade. That's sort of my, oh god, now I need someone to write a, Can someone write an alt history version of like the Crimean War with supernatural creatures? Because I would be all in on the story of Ent love in the Crimean War 5th Ent Brigade. Yeah. The railroad? That's real? Oh yeah, there was a railroad that was supposed to go through here. You might even be able to find what's left of the old station if you go looking for it in the forest, but it never got finished. Pretty interesting story, really. You should ask Dorothy in the museum about it. I'm sure she can tell you all better than I can. Thank you, I will. Marnie stands up and stretches. Well, I'd better head back to the office. I told Dana I'd meet with her about a column at 2 o'clock. God, what's the Ghibli movie with that has like the time traveling granddaughter, or what is it? I'm trying to remember. I watched it not too long ago. Like I watched it last year. And there's a really good Ghibli one about like going somewhere that's kind of stuck in time. God, it's gonna be in my mind all day now. Feel free to stay and finish your coffee if you want, though. Just don't run off with me now. On me now. With me. On me. Oh, hang on a second. Yeah? Marty stops halfway the door. You said you all know almost everyone in town, right? Do you know a guy named Ron? He might hang out in the forest a lot. We finally got to Ron. Ron. Marty strokes his chin dramatically. Run, 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 run. Oh yeah, Ronnie Hoshtal. I'm having trouble with words today. Hoshtapler. Hoshtapler? Yeah, I knew that guy. That's Bill Hoshtapler's nephew. Bit of an oddball, that one, but he's nice enough. You two friends? Maybe? Well, I'm glad you know someone else in town. Better get going now. See you back at the office. Marty leaves the cafe, the bells on the door jingling behind him. I sit at the table completely still, staring out the window. My coffee goes cold. But Mail, he's real, but maybe an ent. Can't believe he's dead. Fuck. Nice, Straz. Real nice. Is Hoshtapler a German word for ent? Fuck. I mean, knowing Tolkien, quite possibly. My coffee goes cold. I was so sure I was going crazy, but the railroad is real. There's really an old, incomplete train station out in the forest. It wasn't a dream. I can't have that. Can't have been a dream. I had never heard of the railroad before, so how would I dream of it? I was really there, and Ron was really there. Marty knows him. It's a different Ron. I got my points on it was a different Ron. There's still something weird going on with my lack of memory, but I must keep forgetting things because of a lack of sleep. Like I figured before. I'm not crazy. And Ron's not a dream. He's a real, living, sweet, adorable ent who hangs out in the forest, and he's probably waiting for me again. Yes, I'm doing that. Ron is headcanon ent. Deal with it. I'll go see him tonight. I don't get much work done that afternoon either, but I'm distracted by excitement rather than the morning's anxiety. I can barely wait for the day to be over. I practically sprint straight to the forest after dinner, paying no mind to the strange looks I get from the few people closing up their shops on the main street. I burst into the clearing, out of breath but happy, just as the last glowing hues of sunset disappear over the horizon and the first stars appear in the night sky. I don't see Ron at first, so I check behind me, wondering if he's hiding in the trees again. But when I look back, there he is, sitting on the tree stump with a big grin on his face, as if he was always there, waiting for me. Is Ron that tree's spirit? He's always at the stump. He's always on the stump. He was the tree. Ron was the tree. Look at that green vest. Like, Ron was the tree. It's gotta be. It's gotta be the case. I throw myself down next to him and pull him into another passionate kiss. Hand holding. This is lewd. He's got real lewd all of a sudden. The next few weeks are by far the happiest I've spent here or perhaps anywhere. Yeah, they reached third base. It becomes my routine to spend every night wandering through the forest with Ron. I tell him about my day at work, about the city I came from, about my dreams for the future. He takes me on guided tours of the forest, showing me gnarled, towering trees that have lived for hundreds of years, and old, weather-worn treehouses where children who have since grown up and moved away used to play. Exposed wrists. I'm gonna get banned from Twitch. Oh god. Oh god. Why didn't anyone tell me this wasn't safe for work? We laugh, we kiss, we clumsily climb through the branches. I hold his pale, elegant hand. During the day, the upcoming special edition of the paper helps me find new purpose at work. Marty introduces me to the stern old woman who runs the museum. She responds to my queries about the town's history with stacks of dusty files from her basement and recommendations of books to look for at the library. This is adorable as hell. I sift through the sources on the settlers who first laid down their luggage here, the stories they told and places they came from. I read about the railroad effort and the mysteries surrounding its abandonment. I marvel at the mythology of the area, which starts to shroud the town in a layer of magic I never saw before. Like, this is why I love kinetic novels. So this one is a purely kinetic novel. This one, you have no interaction, it's just telling a story. But it's telling a story in such a beautiful and approachable way that it's too good. It's too good for this world. It's too good, and it's too lewd. Look at that. Look at that. It's... Oh! I need to look at it again. That's some beautiful hand-holding there. Seriously, that's some good hand-holding. Like, that's someone who spent a lot of time looking at hand-holding. When I walk through the streets now, I notice the old well that people say is haunted, and the yellow brick house where a minister's daughter lived before she disappeared in the woods, never to return. Wait. Is Ron trans? Is Ron the minister's daughter? Wait. Wait. I don't know what's going on here. There's too many layers. There's too much going on. The minister's daughter ran into the woods, turned into a tree, and then became Ron. Okay, we've got our story here. I wake up in the mornings looking forward to the new discoveries I might make during the day, and to how Ron will react when I tell him about them later, his green eyes, always so full of wonder and fixation. I'm still having problems with my memory, which doesn't surprise me because I might be sleeping even less now that I'm spending every night with Ron. But I'm so engrossed in everything that I'm doing that I don't even have time to feel tired. Once I've finished with this article, I'll ask Marty if there's a good doctor in town. It doesn't really bother me at all that much. I take very detailed notes about my research in case I forget everything, but for the most part, it seems to just be late at night that my memory starts to waver. The last thing I recall when I wake up in the morning is usually something about the time I spent with Ron. The crunch of leaves under my feet as summer turns to fall, or the ever-present pine scent of his skin. See? Ron's a tree. I rarely remember going to sleep, but Ron is real and wonderful, and I'm finally writing something good. I'll worry about everything else later. Hey Dave, you almost ready with that draft? Marty approaches me at work shortly before my deadline. Yep, I'll have it done for you by the end of today. Just putting a few finishing touches on it, you know. Great, I'm looking forward to reading it. It's nice to see how involved you're getting in this town's history. Yeah, actually thinking maybe I could keep this up with the whole series of articles. There's so much interesting stuff that I can't fit into just one. You know there are a lot of myths about fairies in this area? Allegedly, they live in the forest and they hide most of the time now that there are humans living nearby. But there are some old stories about people meeting strange figures in the moonlight who offer to grant wishes in exchange for a sacrifice. I'm liking where this is going. This is good. Well, sometimes they invite you to parties you can never leave once you eat the food or join the dance. Yeah. Oh god, there's a lot of possibilities here. Yeah. Stories got pretty popular again around the same time the railroad was being built. A couple workers went missing and others reported seeing strange things late at night. There were financial difficulties too, of course, but rumor has it that one of the reasons the railroad was never completed. Oh yeah, my nana told me stories about the Fae when I was a kid. Some are good, but others terrible tricksters. Better stay away from the woods at night, right? Right. If those legends were part of what keeps everyone else in town from disturbing Ron and me, then I'm really glad a few drunk railroad workers told some tall tales. Oh, Dave, what have you gotten into? What have you gotten into? I think a series of articles on the town's legends and history sounds great. Or you could also talk to old Jimmy Johnson. He has plenty of stories to tell. Marty begins listing more names of people in town and debating with himself about which of them would be best for me to interview. As he mutters about whether it was someone or other or some other guy whose father worked on the railroad, I notice a man in a wrinkled Hawaiian shirt strolling in. Hey, there you are, Marty. I found a little photograph you were looking for. And some great old ones of the squirrels, too. You know those squirrels who live up in the yard? Yeah, they get up to the funniest things sometimes. Ronnie, great to see you! Danny, can you scan the old photo of Ronnie's grandmother right away? We don't want to keep him waiting. Uh-oh. And the squirrels? Huh? Remember I talked to you about running an article all about the different type of squirrels in town and what their favorite foods are? Right, squirrels. Well, you know, I don't think we'll have any room for that in this issue, what with all the special stuff for the town's anniversary. Oh, but leave those squirrels picture with me. I'll take a look, see if we can use them in the future. Oh great, you're gonna love them. They're just so funny. In this one, Mr. Fluffykins was trying to climb up the tree, but Marty loudly cuts the stranger off. Hey Dave, did you see that Ronnie's here? You know Ronnie, right, Dave? You wonder if he expects me to play along as part of some plot to get this strange man to leave. Didn't you say something you two have been hanging out in the forest or something? You asked me if I knew him. Wrong, Ron. I'm not sure if I met before, but any friend of Marty's is a friend of mine. It's Dave, right? The name's Ronald Hochstapler. You can call me Ron or Ronnie. All my friends do. Nice to meet you, Ron. Oh, no. When I asked Marty if he knew Ron, did he think I meant this guy? When what he said reassured me that Ron was real and that I wasn't crazy, was he actually talking about some local weirdo the whole time? I think the other Ron is still saying something, but I can barely hear him. It feels like a thick fog has descended on my surroundings. How could I be so stupid? How could I just ignore a serious problem with my memory because it meant I got to spend more time with a hot guy? I've been looking past all kinds of weird stuff this whole time, telling myself it wasn't a big deal. It's almost like I was under a spell. It seems so obvious to me now that I'm losing my mind, either from sleep deprivation or some other problem that lay dormant until I came to this tiny town. Of course Ron isn't real. Of course I invented him to make myself less lonely. A perfect, pretty boy who wants to spend all night walking through the woods with me and holding my hand? Who could possibly think someone like that would really exist? Who would really want me? Oh, David. Poor baby. He's not real. He's never been real. I'm just crazy. I should have known. I tell myself not to go into the forest anymore. Whatever happens will only hurt me. Either I'll keep trying to hide from reality with my imaginary friend, or now that I'm realized he's imaginary, I'll never see him again. The first option would be unhealthy. The second will be devastating. But just like the nights before I met him, I lie awake for excruciating hours. No position is comfortable. I fluctuate between too hot and too cold. In the brief moments that I manage to distract myself from my anxieties, my mind soon starts replaying embarrassing moments from my childhood. My head pounding, I eventually give up on trying to sleep and find myself wandering into the woods once more. I'm not sure if I even consciously decided to come here. It's just become so routine that my feet led me here when I started walking, like the fingers of a pianist playing a song they memorized years ago. It feels colder out here than it ever did before, and I feel more alone than I've ever been. I kick the tree stump in anger at myself and my circumstances, and I immediately regret it when my foot throbs in pain. What? Why did it go into save? Weird. There's a game crash from there. Whew. Scowling, I stalk deeper into the forest through the thickening trees on the hill. Ah! Halfway up, I trip and fall flat on my face. My foot stumbled across something hard, jutting out of the ground, which hurts even more than before. I roll onto my back, not bothering to get up. I'm in pain and exhausted and probably out of my mind. What's the point of doing anything? Oh no, we're not going to find a gravestone, are we? As I look up the canopy of branches, some of them become barren with the advent of autumn. The moonlight casts a shadow over me. Are you okay? So hallucinations still have shadows. I guess that makes sense. If I can invent a whole guy, I might as well make him consistent with the laws of reality. No, I'm not okay. Leave me alone. Despite knowing he's not real, I'm still talking to him. Great. Oh. Okay, but if there's anything I can do to help, Well, there's nothing you can do to help. I scramble to my feet. You're not real. You don't exist. I don't know why I'm still talking to you. Oh yeah, I do know, because I'm insane. If you want to help me, you can do it by disappearing. Aww. It's hard to tell in the dim light, but I think I can see tears brimming in his eyes. Why do creations of my adult mind have to be so realistic and detailed? Oh, poor Ron. I'm so sorry. What? I'm sorry, I never meant you to think you were crazy. His voice wavers as he speaks. Things were different before. People used to accept that things might exist in the world beyond their understanding. Experiences like this made them happy and they could catch a glimpse of something magical. I didn't realize how different it would be for you. His hands shaking, he reaches out and gently places his fingers against my cheek. I may be very different from you, but I promise you, I'm not in your imagination. Doesn't prove anything! I could be hallucinating all this, even the feeling of you touching me. I can tell that he's definitely crying now. His tears somehow catch and reflect the light of the moon. I can't stop myself from pulling him into an embrace. sad, Ron. Is it really possible that I could imagine all this? The heat of his fragile body against mine and his tears soaking into my shirt? Memory problems. So that's why you thought I wasn't real? His voice is muffled by my chest, but I don't let go. Yes, I don't understand why I never remember going home and going back to bed after I see you. And for a long time I didn't really think about how weird this was. I feel like there must be something wrong with me, not only for that to happen, but for me to barely even question it. That's just, I can't help it. It always happens when he pulls away from me and looks into my eyes. When I interact with humans. And boy. I gasp, lost for words. But at the same time, I'm really not all that surprised. There was always another possibility about Ron, one that I wouldn't even let myself consider, that doing so would prove I definitely was crazy. Like I learned recently, this town has a lot of legends about fairies. He must see something like recognition in my eyes, because despite the tears streaked down his cheek, he smiles. I told you I've lived around here my whole life. Not right here. Not in the same here you live in. But nearby. Just beyond the border of your world and mine. I've always liked visiting. Getting to know new people and bringing some magic into their lives. I'm sorry that it didn't work out so well for you. I shake my head. Ron? Is that your real name? Close enough. It's what my friends call me. Ron, I've been so happy with you. You've always been sweet and understanding and a perfect companion for my late night walks. I feel so comfortable around you, like I can really be myself. You're so easy to talk to. You don't judge me for anything. And you've always called me David. A lot of people just assume they can call me Dave, and I don't mind it, but I like my full name. So I appreciate that. There was anything wrong with you. I only freaked out because, well, I guess I don't trust myself. Yeah, it sounds like how to avoid. Yeah, it might be the same. You brought magic back into my life. Thank you. And I've succeeded. I'm glad. The branches around us begin to rustle in the wind as he speaks. I loved spending time with you too, David. I liked your funny stories about your co-workers and watching your eyes light up when you talked about your research and plans for the future. You always were patient with me, even when there were some parts of modern human life that I didn't understand. You always took the time to explain. You didn't judge me either. You're a good person and deserve to achieve your dreams. Don't forget that. Thank you. The wind picks up as he kisses me for what I know must be the last time. I wrap my arms around him, holding him tightly. He strokes my cheek, brushing away a tear I didn't realize I'd shed. The wind is hurling through the trees now, chilling me to the bone, and it's accompanied by something else, a rumbling sound I think I heard before. It's almost time. Come on. He strides swiftly up the hill. I used to struggle to keep up with him, but now I match his pace with ease. I notice we're following the old railroad tracks, but of course, we've been right next to them this whole time. I should have realized that when I tripped over them. Sure enough, I recognize this part of the forest Ron leads me to. One he said was his favorite, the train station. One moment we're within sight of the bench. Once we're inside the bench, he stops for a moment, then approaches it one tentative step at a time. Yeah, it's a very anime vibe. I watch him from a few steps behind now. I know he'll soon be going somewhere I can't follow. Halfway between me and the shelter, he stops and turns to face me. You can come with me, you know. It's difficult, but it's possible. Come with you where? To my home. It's hard to describe. There's so much about it that you don't really have words for in your language. because they're beyond anything you could ever experience. It would be strange to you at first, or it would be very difficult for you to ever return here, but we could be together, if that's something you want. I look at him standing there amongst the trees and the wreckage. His pale, soft face is illuminated by a moonbeam, just like it was when we first met. It's almost as if the moonlight follows him wherever he walks. He's beautiful. He's perfect. I would love for us to be together. But I have to shout now over the rumbling and the wind that have grown stronger at every moment we wait. I think I'm happy here. At least I'm happier than I was before. I like what I'm working on at the paper. I'm more optimistic about the future. And that's partially because of you. I think I want to stay here. I want to see how things work out. He nods, the wind whipping through his hair, and somehow I can hear the next thing he says as if he was right next to me. Goodbye then, baby. I'll never forget you. He blows me a kiss and turns his back. The last thing I can see him do is place his hand on the back of the decrepit train station bench. And then I wake up from the longest and most bittersweet dream I've ever had. Getting out of bed is especially difficult this morning. On top of the general melancholy, but every part of my body feels tired and heavy, but eventually I manage. I decide to stop at a Sunrise Bakery for coffee on my way to work. It's a nice place, full of friendly people. I'm sure there are plenty of those in this town. I could go exploring someday and find them. I grab a donut from Arnie too. I'm sure I'll be ecstatic. I still feel like going back to bed, but I have a lot of work to do. I need to make some revisions to the first of a series of articles about the history of this weird and wonderful town I've come to call home. At least, home for now. After that, maybe I'll go see if Dorothy is in at the museum, so I can double check a few things for the next article in the series. Or maybe I'll just convince Marty to take off work early, and I'll get him to introduce me to some of his other friends in town. Well, I can decide what to do later. Don't need to have everything all figured out just yet. I sip my coffee and smile. I think it's gonna be a good day. Sorry, I'm having feels. Yeah, that was really nice. God, it was hard to finish that. You ever start crying in the middle of a freaking visual novel and you can't read it because you're crying too hard? God damn. Jane. God. That was amazing, Jane. Yeah, there's something wonderful about getting to read it aloud. Alright. Alright. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. God, if there's one thing digital diversity has done, it has made me cry more than anything else I've ever done. Like, oh. Okay, at least it's happy tears. At least it's happy tears. So like when I did Hellblade and I was literally emotionally fucked up for 2 weeks straight. Okay. That was Well Met by Moonlight. Made by Jane Titor, or Titor, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Link is up there in the top there. And I think it's time for us to move on to our second one. That was supposed to be a half-hour game, and it took me like an hour and 15 minutes, so we're a little behind, but I don't care. We're going to stream until I don't want to stream anymore, and we're going to keep going. Next, we're going to play... Let me grab these and these. We're going to move on to another Jane Titor game. We are going to play Reburn. So let me just find the stuff for this one while we're going through. It's in here somewhere. It's in here somewhere. It's one of the newer ones. So there's 84 games on the list now, and I really need to work out a better way to like put all this together. Okay. 70s. It was like in the 70s? 72. There we go. Alright. Okay. No jump scare. Okay, nothing huge. There's some minor horror elements in this one. But nothing bad. So this is a short and creepy story about getting weird emails. So it's a little bit of a horror story, but well, yeah, you can delete a lot of emails. I'm gonna do this one, and then we're gonna move on to our big game of the day, which may end up taking us a couple of streams to get through, but I definitely want to play it a lot. We are playing Reburn. Game by Jane Titor. Another game by Jane Titor. We've got the link up there at the top. How's everyone doing? I need a quick drink after all that. Okay, preferences. Music is good. All that is good. Okay. Let's go for it. Start. So this has no manual save and load, but you do get checkpoints, which is a really interesting way to do it. Like, I have not seen this done in a visual novel before, so I'm actually very curious. Welcome back, Charisse LaFlame. You have 2 emails. This is an interesting way of doing it. Okay. Subject, burn email. Sorry, Charisse. Sorry about the delay. I finally got in contact with the previous editor and got the password for the official burn email address. The address is burn@blackburn.ca. Like, this is like, first one. Well Met by Moonlight. Totally kinetic novel. No real controls. This one, there is an abundance of controls, so I'm really curious how it's going to be. Password is burn123. Good to see people having solid password protection rules. You should probably change it to something more secure once you're logged in. Knowing the previous editor, inbox is going to full of old emails. You don't need any more. You could start going through and deleting most of them to keep it nice and organized. The only ones we need are any recent correspondence with authors whose submissions to the journal have been... Okay, so we're running like an online magazine or something similar. Into the conference shortly. Okay, cool. Someone you follow has made a post searching for a purpose in life. Okay, we can't click that. Cool. Alright, go through. Subject, Reburn, job offer. Mr. Macy, thank you for the opportunity to work. Friday 3 sounds good. Looking forward to it with you. Sure is. Can we, like, how do we delete? Oh, there we go. We got delete. Okay, we got controls in the bottom left. Okay. So, reply. Thanks, I'll get started on that. Send. Aha! I like that. Alright. And that's sent, so we can delete that. There's details. We've got that. New post. This is essentially just new post on typeset, which typeset would be WordPress, because they're two different words for that. So that's kind of cool. Alright, delete. Job offer. I think that's us. Sure, it was great to meet you the other day. Happy to inform you would like to offer you the job of managing editor at Burn. You come to my office someday soon, work on paperwork, sign the thing. Okay, we've done that. Mr. Macy, Tuesday 3:30 would be great. Okay, so this is our correspondence with the people we were getting a job from. That's kind of cool. Application, interview. Okay, so we're gonna, I think it's gonna be, this is our email, and then we'll go into the other one. Blackburn undergraduate. Yeah. Still alive, to Bianca. Extra money, you say that I can afford my rent already. You should come visit me instead. I have a strict policy of going against going anywhere where winter is any worse than here. Glad your job is going okay. Okay. Sorry it took so long to reply. I'm starting a new job today. Haven't heard of Burn before, but I googled it and looks at it. Their publishing schedule seems really irregular lately, which is weird. Okay. Like, this is something I haven't seen done with Ren'Py before, so this is really interesting. So there's a lot of reading here, but sucks that the internet guys got shit together. Blah 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 blah. Still alive. Still don't have internet at the new place, but in the library right now. Okay, cool. Delete that. We log out. You have logged out. Email address. Oh, we've got it up the top. I was about to worry I'd forget it. So burn. Burn.ca. Does anyone, like, Bob and Draz, have you seen anyone do this sort of thing before? Similar system. A few better emails, just more lore, another set of some. Yeah, like, the game mechanic is this. Memes, not porn. I love that. Time to update your password. For maximum security, you should reset the password frequently and include numbers and capital letters. New password. Burn 1, 2, 3. Oh, they are smarter than I am. Oh. I love it. Burn 2, 3, 4. Ha! The old standard. Just increase the number. You have 2 new emails. Since it's the first time you logged into the system, it may take time for all to... Oh, God! Please be patient. And then we get a checkpoint, and so we can go from here. Okay, submission process. I'd like to ask how students can submit your journal because someone told me the faculty supervisor needs to contact you first, and my submission is understanding is correct. I can't reply to that. Keep it. Attach files, attach the review you asked for. Okay, there's no replies or anything. Dr. Neil, the editorial team Blackburn Undergraduate Research Notebook. Okay, so it's a university research journal. I'd like to inquire as to whether your review submissions BIDIS Type 1A Subnovae results from the Bern International Digital Sky Survey attached in this email. Upon reviewing the submission, please inform us which of the following you would recommend: declining the submission, accepting the submission as is, or accepting the submission pending revisions. That's usually how slush pile of readers and editors work, by the way, for those who don't know, who haven't gone through it. It'll be like, we don't want it, we do want it as is, or we do want it, but you're going to have to make a few changes. Please scope of da-da-da-da-da. Okay. Well, I can't reply to any of these. So I guess we just, like, when were these? 2017, 2016. Okay, so these are old. So can I, like, I can't switch the sorting. Instant message. Morgan Hill. Hi. Quick question. What are you doing? Why are you doing it? Huh? Sorry, I'll translate. Salut. Question rapide. Quoi fa... I can't speak French. God damn it, don't do this to me. I speak English. I'm just super confused. What are you talking about? And why does this go full screen? How do I close it? I don't have time to explain right now. Oh, this took a turn. Can you stop deleting emails? For like a second. While I deal with this shit that's going on over here. What? No? Who the fuck are you and why do you care if I delete emails? Also, seriously, you're forcing this chat to be full screen somehow because if you can't, please stop. Oh, I'm in love with this. This is fantastic. I need to get back to work. There are more important things than your precious work right now. Give me a fucking second. You have been hacksawed. I am too late for you. Fuck. BRB. God, where'd all this come from? Question for the editor of Burn. I have some serious business questions for her about things like being adults with jobs. To Bianco. Love Bianco, I seriously got the password to this email. What if you had sent a little bit earlier and the person with this job before saw it instead? Are you busy right now? I've got a crazy story for you to send. Actually, okay, that one can go away. Delete. I want to press delete on my keyboard because, fuck. All right, want a really horrible real world story that this is getting like getting to me. So my current job, while things are quiet at work, there is a shared mailbox that has been like the auto forwarding place for a bunch of groups, and no one's cleared it out in like over a year. There's 330,000 emails sitting in it, and my job for all of yesterday was manually deleting them a chunk at a time, because if you try and delete that many emails in one go, it kills the system. Like, I actually had to reinstall Outlook because I had deleted too many at once and the system couldn't handle it and it crashed. That's where my life is right now, so just so you know why I might be a little bit loopy. Ms. Howard, this automated inform you that your submission, Scissor Sister, Blackbird's Feminist Urban Legend, has been published in the autumn edition of Bird. You can... I want to read that. That sounds amazing. First of all, why is your journal called a notebook when it is the only published digitally? That does not make sense. It's just to make use of a cute acronym work. I don't find it amusing. Furthermore, the work we do here is very different from other departments. We are not always at liberty to discuss details. We would not have to disguise much of what we do. It would be wise to publish under it in your little notebook. We are a different breed. Wow. Dr. Barber, we are looking for more undergraduate submissions for next issue of Burn. Are there any students in your public research who would be interested? That was the reply to the other one. Don't make concern. Why are the... Oh, okay, so we're getting a chunk at a time. That's what we're saying here. We're doing essentially what I was doing at work. We're getting a chunk at a time to look at, because some of these are 2016, some are 2017. Graduated from Blackbird 5 years ago, no longer part of the editorial, and nevertheless, I occasionally receive automated emails notifying me about new submissions. Figure out how to turn these off as they are no longer relevant to me. Oh, God. This hurts. This hurts. New instant message. Stop deleting. I already said. Why don't you listen? Who the fuck are you and what is your problem? I have so many problems right now. Yeah, I can tell. Look, you're getting involved with something you don't understand. Morgan, stop ransomwaring us. What? When I was in control of all the emails, I could contain it. Deleting stuff's interfering with the encryption. Okay. But the system is very complicated now. You just show up and start deleting things. Wait, are you the person who had this job before? How do you even know I'm deleting emails anyway? I changed the password. Yeah, I know you changed the password. Another stupid decision. There's so much going on that I can't even keyboard mash. You stopped doing what you're doing for a while and handled it. I can explain. What? No. Look, I get paid by the hour and I could barely do anything all week without access to the official email address. Which is your fault, apparently. So I'm spending all goddamn day doing the one thing I've been told to do, which is delete old emails. And you can't stop me. Well, in that case, I perfectly understand. Please continue purging the system or superfluous data. We all need to get paid after all. Fuck. No. Don't listen. What's going on here? I feel like my brain's falling away. Nice, I want to hear the story. I'm back at work right now, so probably can't talk on Eris or anything. But if we keep emailing each other, it probably looks serious and business-like enough for me to get away with. Okay, so it got even weirder since your last email. Basically, this crazy person named Morgan Hill keeps IMing me and telling me to stop deleting emails. They're like super mad about it. They won't explain why, and they're being super vague. The funniest part is I'm pretty sure they're actually the person who had this editing job before me. Maybe that's why it seems like no one has done any work in this journal for the past few months and why they had to hire someone new halfway through the year. Because the previous editor is on drugs or something. I really hope that they stop bothering me because I'm also getting this weird bug that I can't close out of the IM window until they do. Oh god. Alright, I can go away. I keep pressing delete, wanting to delete things. God, okay. We'll start from the oldest and newest. Mary, you know, professional amateurist, a blood Blackburn community member, passed away recently in his sleep, 87 years old, known to many as Blackburn students even after retirement, remained active, so minor obituary. To the editors of Burn, I've been an avid reader of Burn ever since I was a Blackburn student myself, and I'm surprised to see that although your journal began publishing exclusively digital years ago, there are still very few digitized versions of old issues. If I may, I suggest digitizing more of the journal's back issues would be beneficial to authors, editors, and readers alike. This is very true. Surely the author's words can gain more power and influence as they are more widely available. This is all very true stuff. Go away. Morgan, you saw that email about digitizing old episodes. Oh, we're getting some input on Morgan here. Just make a good point. I've been meaning to digitize more of the back issue for a long time. Do you think you can come up to the office the next time we meet? Next. No problem. Come on. Okay, so Morgan was told they need to digitize everything. What? Oh my god, what now? Whatever I say to you from now on, don't listen. Haven't been the whole time, but thanks. Morgan is an ent. If you can avoid it, don't even look at it. I wish I could. It won't really be me. I don't have much time. I failed. Don't listen to me, okay? What the hell is going on? You sure the person you've been talking to is Morgan Hill? I thought that name sounded familiar, and I looked it up. I remembered. Morgan Hill is named for a Blackburn student who went missing a couple of months ago. It was all over the news a few days, and I'm pretty sure no one's found them yet. Huh. Can't be the same person. My box told us Morgan like yesterday to get a password for this email. Must be a common name. Delete. Delete. Delete all. Yeah, this stream's had a lot of ghosts. Blackbird celebrating the end of exams, period. Investigation. Same as true on this day in 1967 when a mysterious fire engulfed the west wing of Blackburn's Callum's Arts Building. Investigators reported the fire starting at the officers of Blackburn University Beacon, a short-lived newspaper that was known at the time for biting social satire and critiques of all authority figures. Okay, so there was a fire at some point. Delete. Burn editor. Members have created new threads. Good riddance to Richard Frost. Anyone get email about memorial for Dick Frost today? Beloved Blackburn community member, my ass. Everyone knows that guy has been creeping on female students and then taking credit for their work since the 60s. Oh, it's one of those. Yeah, just because someone kicks a bucket doesn't make them any less of an asshole. This is true shit right here. Do not support abusers just because they've died. Sorry. No, that's controversial, but can't believe you would say something like that about a brilliant man. Is there any evidence of these allegations? Oh, this is a little much. A little much for me right now. What do you mean you decided not to publish my paper? It's not good enough for you? I got an A on that paper. Hope you know not having this resume is going to hurt my law school application. I don't know if anyone got the email I sent about this last month, but I'm not involved in Bond anymore, and I'd really like it if you turn off the automatic notifications that are still going to my email address. Good afternoon, Charisse. Oh my god, fuck off. Oh, I like this music though. I don't see why you have to be so rude. I'm simply wanted to pass on some professional advice, seeing as I am your predecessor as Burns' editor. I'm going to use this voice every time for this person now, just so you know. Didn't you literally just tell me to stop listening to you? And now you want to give me advice? I don't recall saying anything to that effect. Perhaps I meant it as some kind of metaphor. I have been known to have a bit of flair for the dramatic. At any rate, my advice is this. I don't want your fucking advice. Leave me alone. Now the journal is under your control. You should do everything in your power to make it feel truly like your own. Purge as many records of previous editors' work as you can. Throw away anything that isn't useful to you. Start fresh, and you feel much more comfortable. Great, I'm glad you care so much about my comfort. Don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions. I'll let you get back to cleansing the email inbox. Fuck is going on? Bennett would like to share the following article. Police still seeking information about Blackburn student. Aww. They look adorable. Ontario Police urging everyone information. Filing graduate student 23 to come forward. They disappeared. Master student. They didn't seem stressed. They did seem stressed. I don't see any reason to be worried about them. One of Red's other sprites. Yeah, the link I just sent, let me know when you've read it. It's totally the Morgan Hill you were talking about. It even says they work for Burn. I searched it there. Sound like them, but it's super weird. Why wouldn't my boss know if one of the employees was missing? Burn everything. Alright. Automated email to inform you that Burn has received your submission for the paper Novel Redshift Space Distortion Removal Use the Cosmic Microwave Background. We will begin the review process and content as soon as possible. No major injuries at far. Blackburn administration would like to reassure everyone who witnessed or heard about the fire at the memorial event for Dr. Frost last night. Incident caused no serious injuries. The fire, which started after a decorative candle tipped down and lit a tablecloth aflame, was quickly contained. Okay, fair enough. Remember, son, I've recently made the uncomfortable discovery the Google search of my name, Dale Ryan, leads to an article in this journal concerning inaccurate information. Considering the damages could potentially do to my reputation, I would like to request the article be re-edited. Yeah, there's a lot of fires going on here. Someone really needs to, look at that. Important link. Click here for the important news. No, never There was a greater... Okay, delete. New message! Charisse! I'm back, it's me! Okay, we'll do this. We'll do one for the evil voice and just normal for the normal. I know I said it wouldn't be, but seriously, listen to me for a second. Okay, I'm actually glad you messaged me for once because I don't know how to message you otherwise. So question, who the hell are you? I figured out how we can do to fix this, but you have to work with me. What? I'm Morgan. I used to have your job and now I need your help. What else is there to talk about? See, I honestly doubt that you're Morgan Hill who used to edit Berg. Because I just found out that Morgan Hill has been missing for months. So do you want to take a minute and actually explain yourself for once? Oh my god. Is Morgan Hill trans? Like there's a lot of keyboard smashing going on here. I'm not going into stereotypes here, but trans people have a habit of keyboard smashing, I know from experience. Anytime I doubt whether I'm really me, it's like 10 minutes ago whenever she fucking ran in here. Okay, don't have much time to explain. You realize something weird is going on right now. Yeah, I do. Then when you delete the emails, when you destroy anything, it gets stronger. But it's not too late. I think we can at least slow it down if we replace some of what's been destroyed with something new. Like maybe if you start replying to every email instead of deleting them, it will lose power and I can do something. What the fuck are you talking about? You still haven't done anything to prove you are who you say you are. Do you want me to send you a fucking selfie? Is that your priority right now? Fine, give me a second. Okay? You know, maybe you're right. These emails are definitely getting really strange. It does feel like there's more going on than you just trolling me. And it's getting weirder the more emails I delete. Maybe I should listen to you. My boss told me to delete the emails. Sacrifice more emails? I just got this job, I can't start doing the opposite of what he says. I can't get fired. Why would I even start replying to people? The old emails are sinking slowly. Stuff pops up from months ago. Am I supposed to reply to those just say hi to people I've never met? What if boss finds out I've been spamming people? I don't know. Deleting emails makes more sense. It just feels comfortable. It's so satisfying purging the system of all superfluous data. I can't decide. Morgan sent you an image. Everything's on fire. What? Can you see that? Am I off the hook now? Why can't I see through you? Just reply to all the emails, please. Hot. Don't delete any of them. Why is there a fire? I told you there's a lot of shit going on. Can't get back to it. BRB. Maybe you're right. Maybe you don't watch the news, or maybe the spooky ghosts have been messaging. Don't joke about ghosts right now. I think you might literally be right. Delete or reply. Delete or reply. Okay, I'm gonna need your help here. Are we purging or are we creating? Bob says reply. Onyx says sacrifice. I'm gonna need more than this. I'm gonna need some purge. So we've got a purge from Onyx and we're gonna reply from Bob. This is painful. I can't purge and reply. You're too bad to make a choice. Damn it, Draz. Reply and then purge. Double the purge. Fuck. You agree? Okay. Reply and purge. Reply and purge. Alright, well, we've replied and now we purge. Sorry to bother you. I submitted a paper to burn a couple of months ago. It's called the Classical Model Reproduction Born Rule Statistics, and I haven't heard anything back. Reply. Sorry about the delay. I've been super busy lately. I'll look into it as soon as I'm working on it now. Purge. Purge. Haven't heard back for a little while. Want to check that everything with your work's going alright. Have you made progress finding reviews for the Superman paper? Reply. This is serious. I've been going through old emails. Want to make sure that I'm still able to send replies since I'm experiencing some small glitches with the email system today. Hope you're having conference. Purge. Dear Morgan, do you think you're clever researching me? Researching the woman you think I am. I see you doing it. You know, ever since I learned to inhabit the digital realm, I've spent quite a bit of time in here. I'm not so old that I don't understand a Google search. You think you know who I am, but you don't. I'm so much more than you guys was in life. All of this is so much far beyond your comprehension that you might as well stop trying. It will be much easier. Sincerely, Ruby. No, that name doesn't fit anymore. I'll need a new one. Reply. Test email, please ignore. Fuck. Fudge. Recipe, stop, please stop. It's not funny anymore. How does it feel, aiding in the destruction of months of correspondence? Useless, empty words already vanished from the memories of those who wrote them, now purged even from those less fallible mechanical memories humans construct when their own fail. Do you feel powerful, clearing out all of the digital trash? I certainly do. You aren't really Morgan, are you? The way you talk is completely different from how they do. No, I'm not. Does it matter to you at this point? Will it make you change your mind about helping me? I don't think it will. I knew you couldn't stop, even if you tried. You didn't consider it, did you? When Morgan offered you an alternative. You even experimented with following a different path. But the thrill of destruction was too much to forsake. I understand how you feel. Who are you? Good question. My name was Ruby Kaiser once, a long time ago. But I've gone through so many changes since then. And I've watched the world change almost as much as I have. I've built new ways for me to destroy, and I have learned to use them. As I grow in power, I grow unrecognizable to those who once knew me. It's quite liberating. Perhaps you could one day experience the same if you continue to help me. And I'm sure you won't stop. I don't think you can. Just keep purging the old data trees and enjoy the satisfaction it brings you. I'll speak with you again soon. The purge is real. Like, it's good horror. Like, I will give it such points for its like ability to convey meaning and to play with these tropes. I am just in a very weird space right now, so I'm finding it very funny. So, but this is good. This is some good shit right here. What do you mean? Is the Morgan you're talking to actually a ghost? If they are, please tell me all about it. I love ghosts. Sorry, that was a bad joke. No ghosts, lol. Morgan's just some crazy internet troll. I figured out how to get them to leave me alone. Delete. 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 Where's the emailing? Stop. Stop. Unfortunately, I have a lot of work to do, so I'm going to start from the top. Oh, I think we're just on the purge train here. Witchcraft. Stuff about witchcraft. Delete. Oh my god, we've lost the reply function. We can't actually reply to anything except the new stuff anymore. Dear Morgan, you plan to defeat me by doing what? Temporarily halting the destruction of old data by ignoring your job? You can't do that forever. They'll fire you and find someone else, and I will fear to grow more powerful once more. Sincerely. Well, I haven't figured that out yet. Yo, what up? It's your boy DJ Darren. I got some fresh tricks for you on the Void Purse. Unfortunately, I have a lot of work to get done right now, and I don't think I have time for review. I suggest you contact my colleague, Lona Anderson, instead. Cherise, what are you doing? I specifically told you to reply to the emails and not delete them. Why? What are you doing? Can't you fucking listen? It's just a bunch of emails. I don't know why it matters so much to you. Because, like I already told you, deleting emails is my job. I'm not gonna stop. The inbox is gonna be so neat and organized when I'm done. I'll be able to get so much work done since I've gotten rid of everything from the past that I don't need. Why are you trying to stop me? Oh my god. Therese, where are you right now? I'm in the library. Why? Please, if you don't listen to me about anything else, just listen to this. You need to leave. Why do you keep coming up with new reasons why I can't do my work? I like working here. It's comfortable here. I'm not going to pack up and leave because some crazy person on the internet said so. You're clearly too far gone for me to get you to stop. What are you doing? But if you can at least go somewhere else. Not in a big public building. It might help. Isn't it almost time for the library to close anyway? Trees, just go out for a nice walk across that path in the field. No. Leave me alone. I have work to do. Please. No. How do I close this fucking window? Like this. Want to hear a ghost story, but the person calling himself Morgan is some random weirdo. I'm glad you get rid of them. Yeah, we're gonna catch fire. Morgan is the worst kind of person. I'll be glad to get rid of them soon. Like, our personality is changing too. Like, something about jeggings. Richard's Frost's intellectual dishonesty. A lot of people are commenting on my threads saying there's no evidence. Da da da. Here's all the evidence. We see a lot of this in the reporting of abusers, especially in like the games industry. It happens a lot. It's really bad. Disregard email. Any my previous complaints about what I erroneously referred to as automatic notifications and weird stuff, I don't understand that, but I understand now. Dear Morgan, while I have to give you credit for such an ambitious plan, no one has ever tried that before. But what will you do, pray tell, once you have gained a small fraction of the power I have? Do you think you can simply find me and fight me the way would be another physical being? Yeah, I think it might be the same Ruby. Yeah, defending the asshole. I think we've gone the wrong direction here. Even when temporarily weakening by your futile efforts to shirk responsibility, I'm more than capable of dispatching one of my newly reborn. In fact, I welcome you to try putting your plan into action. It may turn out to be quite amusing. Delete. You've done very well, Therese. I can feel it. Every time you tap your finger against your keyboard, a twinge of electricity that increases my strength. There's so much I've been wanting to do that I haven't had the energy for. Not since your predecessor began slacking in their professional duties. It was like I was only half awake for some time. How do they do that? You can't middle mouse button. But now my eyes, if I still have them, have jolted open. I am ready. Are we on fire or is everything else on fire? I am ready to continue what I started so long ago. Ready to seek even more opportunities for destruction. Thank you, Therese. I think you're the best editor this journal has ever had. Repairs underway in the basement. As of this morning, Blackburn's Ross's library has been partially reopened, allowing access to floors unaffected by the fire. However, any students hoping to resume routines should invest in earplugs. The staff is still assessing how much damage the fire they did. Most books are likely to be safe, as the majority of the shelves are on the second floor or higher. However, the damage to the basement did bad news to anyone whose research relies on the library's archives on VHS or DVD collections. As the spread of fire to the main floor, one librarian asked a comment, lamented the loss of many theses and dissertations by the Blackbird alumni. Those written prior to 1990 were stored only in physical form. Comment from Ruby42. Oh, trust me, some of it's better off lost. The end. Um, I don't know what happened there, but it wasn't good. I think we just died. That was a thing. We helped destroy everything. We helped destroy history. Remember what we talked about earlier about print media? We just completely went against that. We just purged the past. Oh, author's notes unlocked. Thank you for playing. This game was inspired by a few strange spam emails I happened to receive in real life. When I told my good friend about the idea, they gave me it. Telling some kind of creepy stories through a simulation of an email box. She and I spent several hilarious emails hours brainstorming many of the concepts and characters. Couldn't have done this without visual support. I give Teresa's friend Bianca Pombo the initials BP in her honor. A lot of support. Aww. Because this was the most challenging game I could ever developed. I can believe that. Yeah. What little programming skill I have is largely self-taught, which happens with a lot of Vampire authors. Like, I'm guessing that Bob, we've talked about this. You were mostly self-taught as well, and Draz, I'm guessing you were mostly self-taught as well. Even the email inbox code that Stroga generously shared on Lemmersoft forums. Oh, there is an inbox code for all this too. One thing solutions. One thing I find exploring is different communication styles people have on the internet. How much of those styles can break the formal rules of language while still being understandable and accepted in online communities. Teresa's voice is one most similar to my own. I've done enough academic writing that following rules about punctuation and capitalization comes naturally. But I find it turned off, lean off punctuation. There's a lot of interesting stuff here. Go check it out yourselves. Yeah. Alright. So, that was that one. I think we lost our house guest for the night. Alright. And to go. They have headed off?
Yeah.
Oh, good. How you doing? Sleeping full? Okay. Have you?
Okay.
Okay, that's 2 out of 3. Let's move on to our third and final game of the evening. The link for Reburn is up there at the top. Go check it out. Go play the other route. Go play the route where you reply to everything. I am really curious to know how that turns out. And I'll probably do it myself later. So, our final game for the evening. We are going to play As We Know It by Jamie Scribbles Games. What? You can probably just search for it on Steam, but there's the full link. Self-taught doing anything in Python where possible. That's fair enough. Let me bring this up. This one was gifted to me by the developers. Just a heads up. You can pick it up on Steam. Content warnings, drug and alcohol use, violence, mild suggestive content, stressful situations, and death. There is some stuff. But I am glad to finally get my hands on this one. So, I've been waiting to play this one since like May. This was at that point where I had that break due to stuff that was going on in my life. So I am super keen to give this one a go. And we'll see how it all plays out once it loads. Steam loads so slow now. I mean, I'm still happy to play it, Bob. I'm happy to play it. I'm happy to talk to you about it. Like, I've definitely had, like, you've seen Digital Diversity Project as it's grown. Like, you know that I've had games in there that are not suitable for streaming. I can deal with there being penises in games. That's totally fine. All right, let's get some music. Alright, so we are going to play As We Know It. This is one I have been looking forward to for a while now, so I am super keen to see how it all comes together. And yeah, I've lost one of my monitors due to a cat incident, so I've gone from being able to have like my OBS on one side and my dashboard on the other side to having OBS and dashboard on the same side, so it's a little confusing now. Alright, a bunch of different endings. We got settings all good. Are we ready for this? I'm ready for this. Content warnings. Thank you, Jim. Mature content and language, alcohol, drug use, intense situations, violence, mild sexual content. This game is intended for a mature audience. Player discretion is advised. Wait a second. Do we have a not safe for work mode? No. Alright. If we see anything naughty, it is unintentional. Ooh, we get to make a character. Oh, one of the buttons gave the name string named after you. Nice. Oh, I don't like Philip, so I'll take it. What do we got here? Red is the right color. I guess I am pale. Oops. I mean, that's... Ooh, we got some good colors here. So the red is, like, quite good. The blue feels very cool. What do you think? Red or blue? Both are pretty good. Like, red feels very classic kaiju. Blue? Blue is good. I do miss my blue. Let's go with blue. It was a tiny place, much smaller than our house had been, but we wouldn't die here if the power went out during a dust storm. Kaiju, can you help me with this? Sure, just let me change out of these rags first. Oh, I love these outfits. I changed quickly and then rushed over to open the tub with our very limited possessions inside. We had to leave a lot behind to come here. They'd informed us of the limited space. My mother sighed and started to lift things carefully out of the box and place them on various shelves we were provided. I love this set design. These sprites are fantastic. And I love having everything along here. That's really cool. Now, this is some good design. And we got a calendar up the top. So it actually says what, like, we can go, like, what day it is. So week 1, day 1. I miss all of our things already. We should try to stay positive. Mum sighed again and shook her head. I suppose. She stood up and started organizing everything into an appropriate spot. I went to our new beds and began laying out provided linens. The fabric was very soft and free of sand. I almost felt bad touching it. We had a bathroom, kitchen area, and separate beds. There was also a hinged table that could be pulled up from the wall and small chairs that could be tucked away. Welcome to the IKEA home of the future. I have lived in far worse places. On the wall by the door was a metallic intercom system with a tiny speaker. The floor was hard and made of vinyl that roughly resembled wood. I had started the shower for a while before realizing what it was. I showed Mum and we both watched the waterfall from the ceiling as we twisted the knobs. It was incredible. There were even fake windows by the bed, featuring paintings of incredible landscapes with green trees and water, something I'd only ever seen in books. It was small, and it wouldn't provide a lot of privacy, but it was safe. It was home. The crackle of the intercom made me jump, and I looked at Mum. We looked both at the small speaker and the voice understandable despite the static. In 1 hour, I need to see all new citizens to come to the community center for orientation. I hope you all found your accommodations comfortable and efficient. If anyone has any questions or concerns, please remember that we are always here for you. Vault Tech. This is Vault Tech, right? It's a good voice for the character. There was a pop and the noise stopped. I looked over at the map that had been in the welcome basket on the table. The layout was simple, but I'd probably still get lost. I was used to wide open spaces and there were tunnels and paths all over the place. Explore. I stepped outside after telling Mum I'd be back in a bit. She had only given me a distracted nod. The halls were buzzing with activity, people in and out of uniform wandering around. Doors hung open while people laughed, cried, shouted, and even sang. I noticed a sign on the wall pointing towards the community center, so I followed it. I turned the corner and ran into something solid. Something solid! Oh! That's fucking clever. What? I stumbled back and my hands clasped my shoulders. Are you alright? Why did they name them something solid? The man released his grip after a moment and studied me briefly, his words surprisingly gentle as his grip had been. Yeah, sorry about that. I should watch where I'm going. It's quite alright, but you should try to be more alert. He started to walk away, so I spoke up to stop him. Is there a right way to the community center? You're heading to the newcomer orientation? I was just trying to see if I could find it. I'm going back to get my mother. It's a good plan. You're more likely to remember the location if... Oh. He held his hand out to me. Forgive me. I'm Dr. Mitch? Mia? Mikar? Mikar. Let's say with Mikar. You might see me around the clinic. I'm Kaiju. Doctor? Yes, that's me. I should have introduced myself earlier. Unfortunately, I'm a bit distracted at the moment. Mikar. Yeah, that's my car. Okay. I'm going with Mikar. Mikar sounds about right. He smiled slightly, so I nodded and tried not to show how thrown off I was by his polite tone. I suppose I'll need to decide on some kind of job. They're supposed to be telling us more of the orientation. Don't worry, they plan to have open houses for each career so everyone can learn more about them. You wouldn't happen to have any medical knowledge, would you? You could always use people in the clinic. I can always do what's needed. I've never had to treat a serious illness or injury, thankfully, but I could do it if I had to. Oh. I don't doubt that. You seem very capable. I've always had to be. We stood quietly for a moment until I noticed it was getting a bit awkward. I suppose I should get back to what you were doing. Sorry for running into you. It was lovely meeting you. I'm sure I'll see you around. Who are we going to meet next? Smiled and continued on his way. He had been a bit distant, but seemed friendly if you got past the formal way he spoke. I went back to following the signs until I realized they did indeed lead directly to where I needed to go. I went back to get Mum, and then we headed to the community centre together. A large "Welcome to Camden" banner had been hung above the doors of the community centre. The room was noisy and crowded. There were chairs facing a small stage and tables lined with coffee and water. Bulletin boards on the walls with various flyers and notices tacked onto them haphazardly. The stage held a podium. In front there were two clean but vintage speakers. The man I assumed to be the mayor was talking to some security officers on stage. He stood tall and easy with a commanding presence. He looked important. I sat down in an empty seat with Mum and looked around. People were reacting to this new situation in a variety of ways. A woman near the back of the room was sobbing. A man next to me was just staring blankly off into space. Mostly there was an air of relief. We had been accepted, chosen. We were safe now. A hush fell over the crowd as the man stood to address us. He was handed a small microphone and we heard the familiar crackle of speakers. Probably the mayor. Fuck. I'm gonna move me across. We need to say these wonderful names. These are some good names. It seems as if everyone has made it here safely. I'm glad. He smiled and looked around the room. You may know who I am, but allow me to address myself anyway. I'm Rick Davidson, the mayor of Camden. I know a lot of you are scared, traumatized by your life on the surface. Know that now you are safe. Together, we can build upon this community and create something magnificent. A home. You may know who I am. Yeah, probably the mayor. He clasped his hands together and held them up for everyone to see. There was some hesitant applause. First thing you'll need to know is that Camden welcomes you. He flung his arms out wide to motion towards the crowd, and there was more applause, stronger now. In Camden, we know cooperation is the key to a comfortable life. This is why I must ask all of you to prepare for the Camden Career Festival on Saturday. It's a yearly celebration to welcome you and to help you all of you find your place within our modest little society. Are we going to take the goat? Are we going to take the goat? People who know Fallout will get that reference. As for choosing your career, there are a wide range of options. A wide range, and there probably should be an of there. Each department will be hosting an open house in the evening starting tomorrow. You're all encouraged to attend as many as you'd like until you find a good fit. Is there like a hot but stoic engineer? We'll need everyone who is capable to contribute, and in turn, I am confident we will continue to thrive in Camden together. The applause was much louder and more enthusiastic now. Actually, yes? We'll see how it goes. If work or anything else is stressing you, I encourage you to take advantage of many relaxing pastimes here in Camden. Most are free. Though many of your basic needs will be met, your career you will earn enough beads to purchase a wide variety of luxury items. Fabric, entertainment, liquor, and have any of you tasted an apple? People begin to move through the room and hand out small red things. I looked down at it, shared a look with my mother. We had heard of apples. We'd even seen a picture of one once. I bit into the firm flesh and tasted sweet juice. I looked at the glorious apple in my hand and heard my mother squeal in delight beside me. Incredible. I smiled at her and continued to eat while the mayor waited for everyone to settle back. He then continued to speak, but I was stuck in daydreams. Apples. Nice fabric. It was so incredible. He sees a bird. Asterix sees a bird. I love the cat chirp when they see a bird, and it's like, hi bird, I'm gonna make your noise. Where are we? We're there. Ish. I don't know. I need to redo my camera layout. What? You'll do. I glanced over at my mother. She was gazing at the mare, completely enraptured. She clutched the apple tightly, only one bite missing. Mom? She only looked at me and smiled, nodding her head. Then she returned her attention to him. Glanced around the room, saw a lot of similar looks. If they weren't being directed towards the mare, then to the red apples in their hands. Suddenly everyone stood up and began to cheer. I joined in, trying to hide my confusion. He must have said something, but I had missed it. Why are we clapping? He's amazing, he really is. I think he's inspired optimism in everyone. It's just wonderful. There are drugs in those apples. Alright, who put cocaine in the apples? What are we going to do for jobs? I'm stuck clapping for a moment. I'm not sure. We'll need to attend those open house things. Wonder what kind of jobs they have. There is a job for an apple taste tester. Sign me up. I held up the apple core for her to see. She seemed to remember her own apple and took another bite. I'm going to try and say hi to the new mayor. You should walk around and mingle. Get to know our new neighbors. I didn't reply, but she'd already started to walk away. I sighed and glanced around the room. I kept trying to tell myself that this was my life now, but I wasn't sure if it was sinking in. It was weird to not be searching for food or watching out for strange shifts in the wind. I glanced around the room. There were some people who clearly weren't new here. They stood near a large bulletin board. So many people, the noise echoing really badly in here. I closed my eyes and rubbed the bridge of my nose. One was right. But did I really want to try talking to any of these new people when I still felt so on edge? Let's check out the bulletin. Your area around the bulletin board was crowded. There were lots of flyers listing schedules of events, instructions, and also listing various positions for jobs and volunteers. Several very official looking people were stopping people to talk. A woman glided up to the crowd and stapled a sign-up sheet for something to the many others. She took a deep breath and smiled at everyone. I'm Miss Miller, but please call me Gloria. I'm the Community Affairs Department, so if you have any questions, Gloria's beautiful. That is such a gorgeous character. Like, there's this, like, just the personality there. There's the set and the shoulder. Data. Like, I'm not just saying it because of the streak, and I have quite a fondness for the streaks and the purple. Like, beautifully color coordinated there. But, like, the set of the shoulders, the very confident, like, confident demeanor. I liking that. Her voice projected over the nearby voice and a lot of people's attention. She glanced around and caught my gaze, her smile brightening. So far, you're both saying, you seriously, Data. Okay. Hi. Name Hi Kaiju is. What? Name Hi Kaiju is. I cleared my throat and tried again. I'm Kaiju, I mean. Oh, my character's just really gay. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I can deal with that. Hi Kaiju, it's nice to meet you. Are you looking at available positions? I can think of a few. Shit, she was still talking to me. Specifically me? Yeah, and well, everything. That looks fun. I pointed at a sign advertising a winter celebration. The very idea of winter was foreign, but I had read about it in books. A long time ago, it used to get really cold and sometimes frozen water would even fall from the sky. Well, that was my idea. I thought we could create a few traditions in the community and use archaic ones as inspiration. Her smile faded a bit. Winter is a weird theme, I admit, but I thought it'd be an interesting novelty. It's good to keep people busy. That's the whole point. She tapped her temple gently. Times are hard, but we can't let it get us down. It's true, I suppose. Her natural smile returned somewhat. Are you good with people? We always have openings in community affairs. I tried my best. I think so. There weren't a lot of opportunities to be. Really? You don't spend much time with others on the surface? Are you one of those people who are born down here? I suppose I gave myself away, didn't I? Yeah, so you've never been to the surface? Nope. Oh, but I have to run. It was lovely meeting you, though. I'm sure I'll see you around. Yes, of course. She nodded and ducked back into the crowd, vanishing amongst the swell of bodies. I looked back up the board, made a mental note of various flyers. I'd never remember all of it, but I suppose I could come back later. I caught sight of Mun, chatting happily with the mayor. I had no idea how she'd get through the throng of people that surrounded him, yet there she was. Everyone was starting to leave, so I decided to head home. Mum would know where to find me. The tunnels were getting noisy. More and more people began to appear as they went about their daily lives. I picked up the pace. There were so many people it made my skin crawl a little bit. A lot of people were looking back at me with open curiosity. Something about me must be screaming, surface. Maybe sand was falling out of my hair or something. Like, going into that environment must be really hard because you get both intense social anxiety and claustrophobia at the same time. I paced around the tiny room that was now my home and waited for Mum to show up. As soon as I had started to worry, the heavy door opened and she appeared. Were you waiting for me? I didn't want to go to bed and I didn't want to lock you out. I have a key. No, you don't. I pointed towards a key that she'd forgotten on the table by a box of fresh clothing. Well, lucky for me, I have such a wonderful daughter. Yeah. So how was the mayor? You seem smitten. She waved me off and dug through her clothing to find something to sleep in. He's a nice guy, that's all. Are you curious about him? His family made this whole place, funded it and everything. He asks for nothing in return, just wants everyone to live a better life. Well, you know what they say about good intentions, right? Like I said, smitten. Mum laughed and retreated to the bathroom to prepare. I was already good to go, so I curled up in what was now my bed and tried to be grateful for the nice blankets. The small space was unnerving, but I slept facing out to make it easy for myself. I'd get used to it. Oh, that brings back a few memories, unfortunately. So I've lived in conditions like that. Not entirely like that, like worse than that. And these sorts of beds are difficult. They are definitely difficult for people, especially people that have mental health issues. They are rough. And I unfortunately am having a few little flashbacks to that stuff. So, don't mind me, I'll be fine. I could hear her humming and it made me smile. I knew I could count on Mum to get a crush on a guy our first day here. Her romantic escapades had gotten us into a bit of trouble before, but hopefully it wasn't something we would have to deal with here. Lights inside our quarters blinked off and I tried to get comfortable. Mum switched on her white noisemaker and I closed my eyes. I had been shocked that she had grabbed such a thing, but now it was drowning out all the weird sounds that were echoing through the place. Luckily, this place has electricity and the mayor seemed generous with it. Tomorrow I would need to find something to do until I could go to the Korea open house. It felt strange not to be sealing the cracks and watching out for storm, but the door was sturdy and there were no windows. I was so exhausted I couldn't have stayed awake all night, even if I wanted to. Oh, there we go. So we've got progress bars, so there's... I don't know the difference between the stars and the hearts. So I'm guessing these are the romanceable roots, and those are the friendship roots. Tabby sounds like a cat. Yeah, I thought so. Stars are friends. I don't know. So... why can't these all be cats? Alright. So we've still got Eva and Jude to meet, but so far we are looking at Gloria as the possible romance. Just because they seem wonderful. When the intercom finished its annoying good morning message, I rolled over in bed and saw that Mum was already up and dressed. I need to see if we can buy coffee makers somewhere that still works. Coffee was one of those luxury items, but I was pleased to learn it wasn't too expensive. Why don't you get ready real quick and come with me to the community center? They serve coffee there every morning. For free? No, but it's cheaper than buying the stuff to make yourself. I groaned and squeezed, my eyes closed. Sleep more or get coffee? Coffee. Caffeine. Give me my Mothra energy drink, I need it. I rolled out of bed, got ready and followed Mum to the community center. Coffee. Need coffee. I saw the table lined with steaming coffee cups and began to head over, but Mum tapped me on the shoulder. Look, it's the mayor! Her voice was almost girlish with excitement. Yeah, but where's the coffee? I didn't care about the mayor unless he had a cup of coffee for me. Go ahead and get a coffee. I'm gonna say hello. I blinked slowly and watched her saunter off into the group of people that apparently included the mayor. Should I grab her a cup of coffee even though she didn't need it? She was always a morning person. Before I headed to the coffee, something caught my eye. Someone was stapling something up to the bulletin board and I wanted to see what it was. She was tall with short dark hair. When she turned around, she grinned at me. Hi there. And she stepped close and looked down at me. I'm Eva. I haven't met you yet. What can I say? I have a type. I'm Kaiju. So what you doing? Have you had any of the shitty coffee yet? Tastes like piss, but I prefer tea. I love her. Tea sounds good. Let's go for the tea instead. I haven't had any in forever. I wanted to see what new stuff had been posted up. You just stapled something? Yeah, it's a flyer for the security open house. Gotta keep everyone safe. She laughed and put a hand on my shoulder. Don't look so nervous. It's not as militant here as some other grand cities. Mayor Davidson is a real nice guy, I promise. What's it like to work security? Lots of paperwork actually, which is good, but... She rolled her shoulders. Nah, it's good. I get antsy, but then I just go to the gym. Security is the only thing I'm suited for anyway. I bet you're good at it then. She bit her lip and looked me over. You flirting with me, Kaiju? She laughed and shook her head. Sorry, I'm just messing with you. You should have seen your face. So you like it then? Yeah, it ain't bad. Why? You interested in working security too? Exactly, gives people something to look forward to. Exactly, otherwise who knows what would happen. We don't have a lot of people attacking us for resources, but it does happen for occasion. Having a good militia of citizens like myself keeps order and keeps everyone safe. She thought for a moment, then added, well, the hours suck, but the uniform looks good, so... That is a hell of a uniform. Like, what's it called? The bolero? The bolero jacket? With... What is it? That's a bolero jacket on top of a crop top on top of a mesh shirt? Like, I don't know what's going on here, but everything about it, including the side shave, is just like... I have a fucking type, okay? Leave me alone. She shrugged, still grinning. If you decide you're interested, let me know. I'll put in a good word for you. Eva nudged my shoulder and winked. I felt my cheeks heat up and hoped I wasn't blushing. She was so friendly. Yeah, sure. You are my type, Onyx. Very much. You know this. We've been in a relationship now for a few months. I'm pretty sure you're my type. She nodded, appearing satisfied, and left. I watched her work away and then noticed a thin rod bounced against her hips. Looked like baton, and it probably hurt if you got hit with it. I headed over to grab a cup of coffee. There was a guy standing at the table. He was glaring into his coffee. Is it that bad? Yeah, no, not really. It's just not what I want right now. He blinked and looked at me and then spoke again hesitantly. I'm Jude. Here. He reached down and handed me a cup of coffee. Thanks, I'm Kaiju. The torn flannel shirt is pretty fucking good.
Really only came for the coffee. I didn't realize there was going to be so many people here this morning. I should have known though, since you newcomers just arrived. He frowned and glanced around the crowded room. I didn't know how to respond to his comments, so I just tried to smile and not feel awkward. Hey, Jude. Take a sad song and make it better. We're breaking into the Beatles now. Well done. There were more and more people coming in as we stood there. Luckily, there was plenty of coffee. I miss having my own coffee maker. Why is it so hard to find one that works? He sighed and pulled a rubber band out of his pocket and wrapped it around his wrist. Wonder when I'll stop craving a cigarette. He snapped the rubber band against his skin a few times, leaving a small red welt. He'd spoken without waiting for a reply. I almost started to suspect he hadn't really been speaking to me at all. But he glanced at me expectantly. I suppose it was my turn to talk. Does that help? I don't know, but I have to try something, right? I guess you're right. Jude shrugged, then he glanced around the room. I hope some of you newcomers come into the open house for agriculture this week. Maybe I won't have to work the morning shift alone. You work in one of the greenhouses? The underground gardens of paradise. Fresh, leafy greens. Just the thought made my mouth water. Yeah, the place is huge and requires a lot of upkeep. Everyone hates it because of how humid it is in there, but I don't mind. Oh. Shook his head and scowled. Oh, he's a farmer. That's what he is. He's a farmer. It's whatever, you know. They let me play my music for the plants, so I don't mind sweating. Brian's my boss, but he's very laid back. He stopped and seemed to think of something, looking at me intently. What do you know about plants and crops? He's a farmer that really should be an engineer. I know not to eat it if it makes you sick, but other than that, Jude snapped his rubber band and seems to be thinking of what I'd said. So what kind of boss is Brian? You said he was laid back. What do you mean by that? Not much of one at all, honestly. If you want to come to the open house, you'll see what I mean. I nodded. An awkward silence fell between us, which seemed to make Jude a little twitchy. I'm gonna go. I'll see you around. Right, goodbye. With that, he left. I took another sip of coffee and watched him walk away. He seemed as coherent as I was in the mornings. I took my cup of coffee and grabbed a spare for Mum. After I handed to her, I sat for a while as they all talked about different things. Coffee wasn't strong enough, and I was starting to get hungry. I'm going home and make something to eat. We've been given us a modest package of food with promise of more. Kaiju, you have a wonderful mother. I'll make sure she gets home safely. I didn't like that he picked up on my nerves about leaving her behind, but Mum only ducked her head with a wide smile. Well, she's landed herself the mare. I think we thanks for you have a wonderful day, Bob. I'm probably only gonna go for like another half hour or so anyway. Already 2.5 hours in and my throat's already starting to get scratchy. Do you have the key? She nodded and pulled it out of her pocket to show me. I smiled at her sheepishly. I was overreacting. Sorry, Mum. You know I just worry. I know, now go and get some food in you. I'll be back before the open houses begin. I nodded and left. I couldn't help but think about the fresh produce that waited home, things I had never tasted before. I ducked into the hallway and made my way through people going about their day. Getting home wasn't too hard. I just followed the signs that led back towards my block. And everything was actually laid out really well. I'd love to see, like, a first-person RPG in a vault. Like, I'm not talking how they did it with Fallout. I'm talking about everything takes place in the vault. All of it. I want it to be big enough to feel like it's a large enough community, and I want there to be enough going on that you'd have this sort of thing. And I don't think anyone's done that yet. Not like a proper vault life simulator. Like, there's plenty of ones that let you manage vaults, and there's ones that let you go to vaults, but none the way you get to live your life in one. and I'd be really curious to see how it would work out. Like, you could end up doing something really well on a Disco Elysium style game. Like, you could even do, yeah, you do a third person, like, isometric like that, and it would still work out well. But I'd love to do something with that. It's different than the Surface, where everything was just sort of shoved together from the rooms. When I got back home, I sighed with a relief. It wasn't exactly quiet, but there weren't people all pressed up against each other here. I distracted myself with food, portioning everything out carefully. The fresh stuff would spoil if I wasn't careful. I glanced through the welcome packet as I ate. Hours passed before Mum finally returned. Again, she was in high spirits. I smiled and tried not to show that I was concerned. The mayor seemed like a nice enough guy. It wasn't a relationship or anything. I should simply wish her the best. It was probably only one-sided anyway. He was the freaking mayor after all. Oh, Kaiju Rick is so wonderful, isn't he? He insisted he escort me all the way here. Oh really? Is it dangerous to be all in the halls? I don't think it was like that. I just think he wanted to talk to me more. She shimmied her shoulders with pride and began to swan around the room towards the food. That's nice. So have you thought about career open houses yet? Which ones you're going to? Mum paused and I saw her deflate a bit. I'm not at all good at anything. We always just did what we needed to in order to survive. It seems strange to have a job. Yeah, but this is like a proper society, right? Yeah, it's wonderful, isn't it? I smiled and nodded. Despite the anxiety, I didn't see a reason to worry. The lights hadn't flickered too much. I hadn't heard the roar of a sandstorm. And no one tried to rob or kill us in our sleep. Things were different now. Better. I just needed to adjust. So where are you headed tonight? Any of the jobs interest you? I shrugged. Just going to check out the open house and figure it out from there. She nodded and I apprehensively left to attend the first open house. I walked into a large open room with several tables all lined up. A uniform had been set up. There were lots of little packets with information. A large man stood by a bulletin board and was talking to everyone who came in. I had barely taken 2 steps aside when Eva bounced up to me. I have also had a partner called Eva, so I have good memories associated to that name. Kaiju, you came! Yes, and I was very discreet about it. I'm not sure what I had imagined, but this wasn't it. It looked so boring. Eva frowned briefly, but shook it off. I think a lot of your surface landers are used to a very different kind of authority. This is set up for the people, to protect them, not to control them. She placed a friendly hand on my shoulder. Come on, I'll show you around. No one will give you a better tour than me. Yes. Since she worked here, she'd have all kinds of valuable insight. Show me all the secrets, okay? She grinned at me. You got it. I followed Eva as she pointed things out. She seemed to have a story for everything. That's my locker, and that's the cameras, but they're unreliable as hell. And these are the holding cells. She opened a door into a narrow hallway with small, secure rooms. No one was inside, thankfully. The area of being confined in such a tiny space made my stomach drop. Holding cells? Yeah, if someone acts up too much. She glanced up at me and her smile faded a bit. Hey, not people like you. Eva placed her hand on my arm. You don't look like a criminal to me. Shows what you know. Eva laughed. These cells are hardly ever used. Most things resolve quickly, and that's all I meant. I know what it's like on the surface, but it's different down here, really. Now, want to see something really cool? Yes. Sure. Eva led me to a back room and opened a door into darkness. There was a snap, and it lit up to reveal several weapons. Oh shit. Right? You only ever use them when we're dealing with invaders. It doesn't happen often. You know how to shoot these? I picked up a large gun. It was heavy and cold. I'd seen plenty of guns, I just never held them. They were hoarded by Sandmen, and if they learned that you had one... I handed it back to her and she held it out, striking a pose. I begged Vince let me take this home, but he won't let me. Too bad. It's a real shame. Be nice to have something like this within reach. Right? Alright, come on. Like, she's hot, but she's also obsessed with guns, and she's a cop, so... Led me back to the main room and outlined what would be my various duties if I joined the security force. Protecting people, fighting off anyone who attacked Camden, doing rounds to watch out for stuff, lots of paperwork. Apparently she hated paperwork, but seemed to enjoy all the other aspects of it. Whoa. Big. We went back to the boss, as Eva called him. He didn't seem bothered by my earlier absence, and told me to call him Vince. Vince is tall. He seemed content with that introduction and left me with Eva. I wasn't sure if this was the job for me. It sounded dangerous but exciting. I'd moved to Camden hoping for security. Maybe the best way to make sure I was safe was to take matters into my own hands. As everything wrapped up, I grabbed an informational packet and headed back home. Mum was already in bed, so I crawled into my own and went to sleep easier than I ever had. No real change. We have a higher standing, so that's good, I guess. I sat up trying to shake the nightmare. I couldn't remember what it was about. Something with hands. Kaiju? Yeah? Just a bad dream. She nodded. Do you want some breakfast? I waited for you. I leaned up in bed and Mum began to look after me. After a brief Mum scan, she smiled. I rubbed my eyes. I wasn't hungry, but Mum probably just wanted the company. Alright, let me get up. I got up and pushed away the last wisps of the nightmare. It was good as forgotten. I sat up, sat at our thin fold-up table and ate fresh fruit and porridge. I was starting to think I could live on fresh fruit and vegetables alone. I used the recipes provided. I'm not sure if this is how everything is supposed to taste. Better than what we used to eat. I shrugged and left out the times when we'd be forced to go hungry. I think I'm going to head out to the community center for coffee. She peered down, eyebrows raised slightly. I nodded. Coffee. I can't believe they have enough supply to be so flippant with it. Coffee every morning is really nice. It's wonderful. Maybe the I cleared my throat and stood up, then dusted myself off in a show of green, heading towards the door. Coffee. Coffee first. She laughed and nodded, stood and placed the dirty dishes in the sink. The sink had running water. It was incredible. Mum opened the door and we stepped back to the hallway. I made sure to grab the keys. We turned the corner and almost ran right into the mayor himself. Oh, excuse me. Well, fancy bumping into you here. What brings you out of this block? He cleared his throat and straightened his shirt. Oh, I like to walk around. I used to jog, but this seems more manageable. Camilla, how are you liking your new accommodations? Everything's absolutely wonderful. I'm so glad we met your spot in Camden. He smiled, and I swear I saw him blush briefly. I can't imagine how you were living before you came here. Someone walking the hallway shouted a greeting at the mayor, and he waved in reply. It's rough out there. I miss the extra space, but our home here is much more luxurious. I don't miss the random power outages either. She visibly shuddered. We use geothermal power down here. It's a lot more reliable. Everything's maintained regularly. I make sure of it. He nodded and crossed his arms. He had a look about him that said yes. He did make sure of it. I wouldn't want to be in maintenance if there was a malfunction. I'm very grateful. I don't understand about the bit about thermal genes, but yes, it sounds lovely. Even happier that I don't have to worry about it. That's the truth. I'm just happy the lights stay on. We even have cold water. He smiled and nodded. I know the rooms are small. They're just lovely, so clean and efficient. Running water, that alone is enough to make me happy. Mum beamed at him and I saw him relax somewhat. I cleared my throat to ruin the energy building in the air. Well, I'm dying here. Coffee? Right. We're on our way to the community center. Don't let me keep you there. I'll see you around, Camilla and Kaiju. We separated and I eyed Mum suspiciously. The mayor seemed okay, but he was the mayor. What was she thinking? She's thinking, he's nice, He's the mayor. He's got stable work, and he's nice. So, her choice? Seemed like such a gentleman, you know? He's also the mayor, the guy in charge of everything, and who owns the whole place. So, does that mean he can't be a gentleman? Why are you looking at me like that? I know... Nope, I'm still the mum. You shush right there. I can tell you're about to lecture me and I don't want to hear it, young lady. I rolled my eyes and she wrapped her arm around me. Don't fret over me. I'm not that old yet, or helpless. I can take care of myself. I know. I just can't help worrying anyway. After we got some coffee, I learned about the library. We had seen information about it before, but it hadn't occurred to us we could actually borrow books for free. Mum had only brought a few of her cherished romance novels that were battered from frequent use. It would be good to read something new. The library was cluttered with books and a set of desks off to one side. Apparently they held some kind of educational services here. A guy, probably a few years older than me, sat behind the counter looking down at a book. He hadn't bothered to glance up, but I could only imagine he was the librarian. Hey, So, are you the librarian? Yeah, I guess. I looked at Mum and she just shrugged. She seemed content to watch me try and interact with him. How do I get a free book? He sighed and grabbed a box and set it up on the counter. He opened it without looking away from his book, then handed me 2 blank index cards. So, do I wave it like a wand, or write your name and the home index number, then give it back to me? Whenever you take a book out of the library, I'll note on your card, and you return to me when I cross it out. Sounds very clever. We did as he asked and handed the cards back to him. Without another word, he placed it back in the box and returned his attention to the book. Before I could walk towards the shelves, the door opened and someone else walked inside. He was taller and handsome, about the same age and quite as the quiet and rude librarian. Hey, Trevor! You're not scaring everyone away, are you? The librarian, or Trevor, set down his book and stood up. Hello, and welcome to the library. Can I help you find something to read? As he spoke, his voice was deadpan, and I didn't know how to respond. Mum simply walked away towards the reading material. I should have followed her. Brian. It's a Brian. Don't worry about him. He doesn't bite. I'm Brian. I run the greenhouse. Oh, hi. I'm going to sit back down now. Where do you get all that youthful energy, Trevor? You're the same age, Brian. Brian turned his attention to Trevor. I was left on my own devices. I walked around and took a look at everything that lined the shelves. The place was small, but overall nice. 2 guys seemed completely on their own little world. Trevor was trying to read, and Brian was trying to get and keep Trevor's attention. I had finally started to figure out the organization system when I heard Mum calling. What do you think is up with them? They are very gay. Like, they better be a couple, because they're too perfect not to be. Mum sidled up next to me, holding 2 new books in her hands. Both had covers that depicted a man and woman clutching each other oddly. I don't know. How many books do you think we're allowed to check out at once? Not sure, but I suppose you'll tell us, won't you? I nodded and looked around the room as Mum returned to the romance section. There were tons of books lined up and neatly displayed. It'd be really wonderful to have something new to read. What do I want to check out? Something practical. I grabbed No Alternative Remedy and went back to Mum. What's the other option? Something easy and relaxing. Tales of Jerks in Love. Let's go with that one. I waited to see if Trevor would react to Mum's pile of books, but he only took out cards and noted the books we were taking. Brian smiled in a friendly way, but didn't speak to us again until he started to walk away. Then it was only to Trevor. We spent the rest of the day organizing our tiny home and reading the books we borrowed from the library. When the time came to attend one of the career open houses, we went our separate ways. I tried to pick a good field to check out, but I had no way of knowing if it would be interesting to me or not, so I just headed to the medic's open house. I walked into the clinic and was hit by the chemical smell of medicine and illness. It looked like a waiting area with places for patients hidden behind counters. There were pamphlets set up on the table and a lot of people dressed in crisp white clothing. A woman with big blonde hair walked over and took my arm. "Hello there, darling. I'm Iris Marine Jackson. Please just call me Iris. Everybody does." I was trying to go for like a Western kind of Dolly Parton thing, but I remember I have no idea what that voice sounds like. It's like, I want to do this kind of accent. Do you remember what that accent sounds like? No. Here's Australian. Okay, we're doing Iris in Australia now. "G'day there, darling. I'm Iris Marie Jackson, but just call me Iris. Everyone does." She led me over to everyone was sitting. I saw the doctor approach. I almost didn't recognize Makar in his full uniform. When our eyes met, he leaned forward slightly and spoke softly. "I'm so pleased we were able to come by." He turned to the others and spoke to everyone. "I am sure that you all at least somewhat aware of what we do here in the clinic. It's important work that helps everyone healthy and alive. While we teach you some first aid, you can help us by keeping records and maintaining the clinic's sanitary requirements." He means writing people's names down and cleaning. Yes, Iris is correct. While I do this, I can teach you as much medical knowledge as you can stand. The more doctors and nurses we have, the safer we'll be. How about a tour? Iris clapped her hands together. She looked at everyone. Makar rubbed the bridge of his nose. Come on now, get close. I don't want to lose my voice. I started walking towards Iris, but felt compelled to stop and talk to Makar. He might get annoyed if I didn't stick to the tour, though. Let's ask him what's bothering him. I backed away from the tour group and walked up to him. He looked up from the clipboard at me with curiosity. Yes? What's going on? You seem stressed out. Stressed? You do not know me very well. This is my typical behavior. He gave me a small smile and started to turn away. Well, sure, but you're the main doctor, aren't you? If something's ever wrong with you, then who do you tell? Pardon? If you get sick or injured, I appreciate the sentiment, but there are very capable medics here. I assure you that if I fall, someone will be able to replace me. Oh, come on, I didn't mean it that way. You seem so tensed up. Your concern for me is touching, but misguided. He finally lowered the clipboard and looked me over. I am simply worried about the turnout. I was hoping to attract more newcomers. Perhaps you can enlighten me. Why doesn't anyone want to work at the clinic? I had waited for a moment, but he seemed to really want me to say something. It smells kind of gross in here. He didn't even crack a smile. It's hard to return to a life of blood and death when you just left it. It's not for everyone. Oh shit, is that your recruitment speech? Because if it does, I know why you're so understaffed. He gave me a small smile and averted his eyes. That's why Iris is leading the tour right now, not me. He nodded and returned to walk back to wherever he was doing. I joined up with Iris as she was giving the final details of her tour. And that's it, sugar. Once Iris was finished talking, everyone started to leave. I grabbed a brochure and looked it over. A job at the clinic could be dangerous. I'd be surrounded by sick people. I wasn't sure if I wanted to be responsible for someone else's well-being, though it might come natural to me after years of looking after Mum. I headed home but spared a final glance towards the nervous doctor. He appeared to be counting. So, we've met everyone. This seems like a good place to end it for today. I definitely want to come back to this. So I think this is going to be on our regular digital diversity streams until for the foreseeable future. So we're going to do a bit of this every time because this one really good. I'm definitely leaning towards Eva, but I haven't properly met Gloria yet, so I'm curious to see where that's going to go. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me on this first digital diversity stream for the year 2020. This has been a pleasure. We are starting the year off strong. We are starting it off with a lot of good stuff, and we are going to go strong well into the year. If you head over to nbkaiju.com, you can see the first blog of the year, where I get to interview Ryro of the famed Gender Wrecked, one of my favorite previous games I've streamed here, as we talk about Game Monster Kiss Club, a game that I cannot wait to come out fully. Seriously, I need that. And later on in the month, we will be having the pilot episode of the Digital Diversity Podcast. So, I want to thank the creators of Well Met by Moonlight and Reburn, Jane Tutor, and I want to thank the wonderful creators of As We Know It. Thank you, Jamie, and I want to thank you all. This has been a great start to the year, and I am well and truly looking forward to what's coming up. We will be back. We will be back on a regular basis, looking at least every 2 weeks, if not every week, depending on where my spoons are at. So yeah, thank you very much. This has been Digital Diversity. I have been Kaiju. Until next time, look after yourselves, look after each other. Remember, you are not alone. Be proud of who you are, and play some gosh darn queer video games, because there are some good games out there. Alright folks, see you next time.